All right, technically we are live. I went live 3 or 4 minutes before YouTube, so they're not gonna give out my notification, but I kept YouTube on so we could say hi to chat before we actually dip over to Rumble because Rabbit is here and I feel bad. I'm like, no, I usually close the YouTube side before I ever see that there's chat. So I saw
Oh
chat.
yeah.
I'm like, oh no, I hate to close it down when I know that she showed up and that the people are over here. So I just went live to say hi to y'all and to say that thanks for showing up. We are going to be going over as soon as we win the lotto, which last week they didn't win $1 billion, but our investment has brought us back here this week to try again.
Yes, we're just
As soon
investing
as
until we win it all.
yeah, as
Just
soon
think
as
of it
we
like a mortgage instead of renting.
exactly.
See, people get a ticket and they throw it away, but we're investing. We're gonna keep
Speaking
it.
of
Keep
that,
the tickets around.
we were talking earlier today about voting and property ownership, and that
Yes.
spilled over into Discord where
Ooh.
it seems like it might be something interesting to talk about to like try to figure out what the hell
Yeah.
you're talking
Battle
about.
it.
And you said you weren't exactly ready for the conversation yet, so possibly maybe you could get ready and that could be I
Yeah.
don't know about a Friday thing or a Monday thing or something like that where we
I don't know if I need to get ready. I think it's just my opinion.
okay, well you need to figure it out then because I
I can.
got
Yes, I definitely
questions.
can.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks
I'll fortify my opinion.
yes, fortify that. It looks like we've got 15 more minutes and we are going to be watching this. No, I haven't seen 1 second of this. I'm stoked that he's gonna go over the lawsuit. At least somebody in LawTube is talking about it. Hey, Vicky. Vicky's over on Rumble's side.
Hey.
Such a good
Woo
student.
woo.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys
Yeah.
the
So
link
we got to
one more
give Kurt
time.
some props here. Out of all the law tubers, Kurt is the only one who's reading the case. As an unbiased person, he's doing it like a
Mhm.
lawyer. I'm just reading the case. I'm friends with Nick, and he admits everything. I'm friends with Nick, but I'm going to read this unbiasedly. And yeah, it
We'll
gets good.
see.
It gets good. Do you
And
think he's going to agree with us, or do you think he's going to disagree? Be a Mr.
well, I think he's
Analytical
gonna
lawyer.
agree because we did was try to apply what we thought was the law. So I think we were right. So I think he's gonna agree with us.
Everybody thinks that we hate Nick because we're right about the case, or we think we're right about the
No,
case. No.
and that's not true. We wish that Nick hadn't said this one thing, but
Yes.
we are where
If
we're
you
at.
just gave him his car and had it over with.
Oh, Sparky says, I'm on the fence with Rekieta, neither for or against. Well, we are not for or against Rekieta. In this lawsuit, I am surprised that you're on the fence here, so that's good because I think it's easy to fall one way or another.
Yes.
Well, once you read the law and hear the words,
Because you
so
get your feelings involved. Everyone gets their feelings involved.
mhm.
That's why all these law tubers aren't commenting on it, I think. And Kurt's more of like an autistic where he can keep his feelings separate.
Like, is that us? Is that our problem?
No, I don't think we have feelings for Nick, like his
Oh,
law
I think
tubers.
you do. I think you hurt your feelings, and that's why
I
we
do.
end up here.
Yes, he definitely hurt my feelings. I feel like I was hoodwinked.
Yeah, he's a little hypocritical, and it hurt your feelings. You're like, damn, I listened to this guy for a minute, and well, what do you think if Nick pulled up and managed to get back on what you maybe consider his original path, OG Nick? Would you be interested in? Are you still a big fan, or
Depends. I don't know. I don't think he can do it because he used to give good advice and now he gives shit advice.
yeah, that's gonna be hard to come away from. But yeah, I think he can. I think he's just stuck in this one right now, and it's hard.
And I don't think he's over his midlife crisis yet.
That could be true.
I think he's still in like a major flux that he can't do his job without drinking, and you can see how unhappy he is.
That's probably true. Lady Autumn Sky said, I don't know anything about this really. Dang, we've done such good videos over on Rumble. We've
We've been
kicked some
cheating him.
major ass. Yeah, over on Rumble. And since it's all live over there, I haven't taken the time to cut and edit because it just takes so many more hours.
I am
So-
offside, so that's why we stick the rumble.
But over there, the thumbnails are pretty true to what the video is. They
Uh-oh.
might get long. It is
I didn't wake up. That was a snooze.
good
We'll fix
morning,
it.
Matrix, or good good evening, Matrix. Montagraph appears to be trying to normalize certain very bad activities by placing them into publicly available court documents. Would that be Montagraph who placed them into publicly available court documents?
No, I don't think.
So.
I think that would have been Nick.
Rekieta has shown who he really is and always was. I think it will be nothing, but I do think Nick is nowhere as good as he was last year. You think you think it will be nothing, Madcore? You don't think he's going to get fined for this? What do you mean by nothing? Have you been demonetized? Why did my membership get canceled? I actually wasn't doing membership content, and so I canceled the memberships. So hopefully, if
everyone's,
yeah, no, not just yours, everyone's. They won't exist on my channel for now because I never gave you guys anything extra, and I really was doing most of my content over here on Rumble. So, so many lives. I think Numbla and I are live like 3 times a week for the last couple weeks now, pretty consistently. So, I looked at the list. I'm like, these are my friends. I appreciate your support. I really, really do. But I just felt bad for not giving anything extra to y'all.
Because if you forgot that you're paying $5 a month, you could pay $5 a month for the rest of your life, and you would have forgot about it.
Oh, he says they can't send super chats. This show might not be monetized. You might be right because I was planning on ending it. I only I saw Rabbit over here, so I hit live and didn't close the YouTube side. So I do appreciate you.
The internet works so much better at night than it does in the morning for you.
I'm actually Madcore. We are heading over to finish this all over on Rumble. Nova's language is disgraceful, and I'm not going to edit him. So we're going over there. We're just going to end YouTube. Thank you for showing up, you guys. If you care about Powerball, it's in 10 minutes. We have 8 tickets. Am I sharing the screen? We have 8. No, we have 5 different chances to win. 42 million on one. I don't know what the other one is. Probably 72 million. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. We had the AI help us choose these numbers.
If you're not in chat, you don't get a cut.
So come on over and get you $1 million. I did promise AI Mario this morning. He did think that I should give him half. I was hoping he'd say no. He said yes. So it's going to be a problem with the lawsuit. So anyways, we're going to do that in 10 minutes, and then we'll jump into the Kurt stuff and just have a lot of fun bullshitting. You know, there's a lot of Epstein stuff. Obviously we can't talk about this on YouTube. We'll just go get ourselves yeeted right now. But
Hunter Biden, I think there's an update in his little case.
What do you mean?
He was supposed to plead out, and then I think there was a lot of backlash, and now I don't think he can plead out like he wanted to.
Oh, I did not know this.
Yeah, I think he pled guilty to like a super lesser charge where he was just having to do drug tests and like counseling and phone calls and stuff. But I think there was such a public backlash that maybe they pulled that back. Maybe.
That's interesting. We could probably take a look at that if we've got time. Yeah, there's a lot of action in the JP Morgan Chase case because that's the government trying to air out the bank and then the bank trying to air out the government. So that's fun. And something we haven't talked about, I didn't even really know was happening, a UFO whistleblower. He's saying a lot of weird shit about the...
Oh, whenever the government's letting whistleblowers UFOs, they're talking about UFOs, that means something they're trying to cover up Biden. There's something being covered up when they talk about UFOs.
He looks kind of like an alien, though, so I don't trust him. Anyways, I thought that was interesting. It should be front page, but nobody really seems to care.
Right, because they've used it so much. So before, the first time they did it, everybody latched on like, wow, this Tic Tac. Do you remember that video, the Tic Tac video?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Right,
That
so
was cool.
everyone remembers that, and then the more people were trying to cover stuff up, they kept using these UFOs, and people just got desensitized to it. We're like, yeah, sure, there's aliens, fuck off.
Yeah. It turns out we're like, okay, we do believe in them, and they didn't hurt us, so now we don't have to care. We weren't as freaked out as y'all thought we were going to be.
And there's nothing we can do about it because they're so much more superior than we are.
We didn't cover the Sound of Freedom yet. Cool Frog was covering that mainly in his show, and so I didn't want to step on his toes with that. That's we could actually probably watch, if we could get our hands on some of it, we could probably watch it over here on Rumble. And then she said,
was that Wiener that interviewed about the Sound of Freedom? Was that what we watched?
Wiener wasn't talking about the Sound of Freedom, though, was he? He was just no.
Did he say, yeah, I watched it, or no, there's no point in watching it, it's stupid, and I think that's when Pat got mad at him.
Yeah, I think so. We've talked about so much. We record for 2 to 4 hours, so some of that stuff kind of gets mixed up in my brain, but I'm pretty sure that we didn't explicitly talk about this because that's important, the trafficking. She said no, the DOJ and state's attorney decided to take the felony gun charge and do pretrial diversion. Judge said that was inappropriate. Oh, I lost my sound. You need to. That would
Yeah,
cover
you're
many
back.
of the issues. It's stupid. No. It's not stupid. If I said that, then I misspoke. I don't think it's stupid at all. We will cover it. Nick, I just wanted to get through all of these before we headed over. We had 7 more minutes before that. Hey, Moose, thanks for showing up. We're heading over to Rumble here. I think that's it. If I missed anything, sorry. Oh, I did miss Madcore saying, yeah, so I think he won't be fined and it will be nothing. That's interesting. We do think he will be fined. I almost think it's impossible for him to get
One
without
of the stipulations is he has to get a job.
Huh?
That's one of the judge's decision.
Who said that? Who?
But what's he gonna do? He's a crackhead. Who's gonna hire him?
Hunter has to get a job?
Yes.
Oh, they can do that?
Release his guilty plea. Drug tests, which he's not gonna pass.
Thank you, Rabbit. I think I was talking about the sound of freedom. I can't remember what I said now. I'm staring at your it's stupid comment. I'm like, did I say it's stupid? I can't remember saying that. No, I don't think it's stupid. I think it's good. I think it's a good cause. I just said that Cool Frog is the one covering it, so I don't know. All right. All right, so take it easy, YouTube. We'll see you over on Rumble.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I think that ended. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
It's so Are you nerve-wracking to be on YouTube at all?
No, it's the same.
It's
the same for me.
It's so different for me. We're back.
Because I'm just talking to you, and everyone else is just eavesdropping. That's how I see it.
Yeah, but there's like the little number at the top of the screen. It's like 3 people are watching, 4 people are watching, 12 people are watching, 20 people are watching. Then it's like 17. I'm like, oh no, we got boring. I can't.
Oh,
stop telling me.
Who was I watching today? They had 20,000 subscribers. This was on Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was that black guy that was on with Nick, Flavilla or whatever the hell his name is. The guy he was on the shirtless show with, Flazilla. Is that his name?
Oh, yeah. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has like 20,000 subscribers, and he was doing a live stream on Rumble, and he only had like 102.
Still pretty good. Maybe was it his first one?
You're pulling in between 15 and 30 for a quarter of the subscribers that he has. So it's like you got 30. He only had 100.
Yeah, but he had 100 like concurrent, right? Or like
live.
Yeah, but we didn't have 100. We don't have 100 live.
34. We got 34 live with us tonight.
Yeah, that's true. We kind of a big deal. Just kidding.
See? Don't give yourself some credit. That's 34.
I meant to tell chat that you said
per capita, you're bigger.
Bong rip on live so that they'll just think we're dumb instead of high. That was funny to me. Yeah, we're not fooling none of them. Okay, so we do have 4 minutes to see if we won. I ended up buying. So there's let me go to where it says live because last time we almost missed it.
Got to see those balls, baby.
Watch the drawing. And then I have to... it's not going to update itself, so I'm going to have to refresh this page. Thank God it didn't have a countdown last week. So
I think what happened is we tried to watch a clip in the last 2 minutes, just a short one, and we forgot to switch it back.
That makes sense. And so we got a Powerball. There are 3 numbers, and we also got a Super Lotto because I think it was double or something. And I think one of them. I think both of them are tonight. I can't be sure about the second one, but I just did it because
Powerball Out of everybody in America?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't. It might be okay. Wait, hold on. It's all of these. Remember, we looked at this before. Nevada doesn't do it.
Oh yeah,
What's
certain
this?
states, but
Utah
yeah,
doesn't do
basically
it.
all of America. So it's not just only California.
Yeah, some state over here doesn't do
Because
it.
some people like to play just their state because the money supposedly stays within the state and there's less people to compete with, so they think they have a better chance.
Rabbit and Sparky are here. Rabbit, thanks for
Hey, Rabbit.
making it over. She's like, I can come over here. Look at me. And Sparky made a new account. That's awesome.
Hey, welcome, welcome.
Yes, we've got just another minute to see if we become millionaires.
What do you mean if?
To see. Yep, I did.
See when I'm gonna buy my new jetpack, because that thing's badass.
That is badass. What did you put here in chat?
Oh, it's a. I was gonna show it on YouTube, but it's a video. No, we're not gonna do this. We gotta watch the countdown first.
Oh yeah, okay.
But it's a video of airbags are just exploding in people's faces all over the U.S.
Damn.
So you just be driving down the road and get destroyed for no reason.
I don't think we should watch that. That'll just give me a fear that I don't need.
Well, you can put your number, your VIN number in the recall section. It'll tell you if there's any recalls. But I think the problem is they're not recalling these airbags.
Or people are ignoring the notices. Expert, you made it.
Or you never even knew it was on.
He said, I only gamble with my life and never my money. That's great. Expert in the house. I'm playing Mega Millions currently. All right, good luck to you, Rabbit. 13 seconds. We're going to refresh this just in case. Not yet. We're going to refresh it if it doesn't show up.
You should bring our numbers up on the screen right next to it if you can.
I can't. Okay, let's refresh it just in case. This is what they did to us. This is all it said last time. So maybe that's the trick, is that it just lie. Powerball, don't know what that is.
Is it the bottom? Do you got to go to the bottom window and hit play?
No, these are the ones from before.
Oh.
I'm just going to refresh it. Last time I just refreshed and then Nick, it's there.
Or a scroll down. Was there a scroll down?
This is it?
Oh. Your voice got muffled.
Probably because it's trying to screen
The Powerball is taking the power away from you.
What? 2015? What? Oh, that's when it opened? What's happening here?
You were driving the wheel. Oh, there's a live button down the bottom. What's that say?
Is it? Oh, it's doing it here. Look, it's happening.
It's time to play America's favorite jackpot.
No, it's not live. It's fake.
Powerball. Good evening,
That's
America.
It's live.
That's 1980s voice.
Tonight we have another life-changing.
Let's go,
jackpot
Carol.
for you. It's worth an estimated $46 million. So get those tickets out. Let's play. That first number up.
That says 2015.
It does?
Yeah.
No, it said that.
Followed by
it was
the
a lie.
number 40. Tonight we're going to meet Richard.
3
Oh,
we
no,
have.
sorry. I was looking at the rumble delay.
Playing Powerball. Congratulations, Richard.
Oh,
Now
no.
for the rest of those numbers, we've got 16.
No.
The number 60, rounding it out.
48.
To 40.
We had 48, didn't we?
Your Powerball number tonight, good luck, everyone,
No.
is 14.
Four.
And your Power Play multiplier is 2.
No,
Let's
we
take
didn't
a look
win
at those
again.
numbers one last
We'll have,
time.
yeah, let's
Remember,
look
there are
again.
multiple ways
Well, that's
to win.
just doubling
Those
down
will
on our
be back
investment.
here Saturday night. Good night, everyone.
Oh, damn.
That's what the double times was at the end.
That was so fast. Imagine having her job. Vanna White thinks her job is easy. Yeah. Powerball.
Yeah, why aren't they dragging this out? This should be like a 2-minute fucking with a commercial between each ball.
Because they don't mess around. They don't have a lot of money to pay her. They're giving it all to us. Okay. I think Lotto America. No, I don't support.
Didn't we crash the site last time?
What's this one called? California Lot. Are these the same thing? California Lottery Powerball.
That's weird. You guys have a 649 million lotto there too.
This is what yours is right now?
Yeah. Well, we have one called the 649 lotto.
Oh, that is weird. All right. Well, I can't figure out how to make the other things work. We're going to be here absolutely forever watching Kurt. So I'm going to close Discord. I'm going to close Powerball instead of leaving it open. We'll check our numbers. We can always go back and check our numbers
Yeah, we can type them
later. I already know that we didn't win
the
any
site
of them.
crashes in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah. People are going to show up to see if they're millionaires. I understand. I'm closing all that down. Get some of these resources back. Madcore, I have to reply to you. I swear I didn't fall asleep and forget. And that Expert and I are such the same person, just living different lives. All right. So a lot of people in chat, it turns out, they don't know what's happening here. They have maybe believed Nick when he told them some of what his story. So we have found ourselves a real lawyer. And if you didn't know, right here's his plaque, because these people bullied him a long time ago. He felt the need to put it on display.
Have we seen his bar license? Has he been verified?
He has been verified. And then he passed another bar just to say fuck you to anyone who thought he couldn't do it.
Yeah, so did Randazza.
Listen, leave Kurt alone. He's on his redemption arc. Randazza's a piece of shit. So
That's true. That's true. He is on a redemption arc.
All right, let's go.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
Let's take a look.
Let's do that.
A look. Take a book. Reading Rainbow.
I wouldn't sing no.
Can do anything. Friends to go, ways to go.
Yes. There should be a clipper out there that's making this into the damn Christmas album.
All right.
All right. There's Rekieta's lawsuit in Super.
Kurt is AM radio.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too, dude.
All right, let's take a look.
I have Rolos and Dr. Pepper. I'm gonna have my feet cut off before this is over.
Does he wear that gigantic hat because he thinks it makes his head look smaller?
It does. Don't you make fun. This is the only lawyer that could have a possibility of agreeing with us. Leave him alone.
I'm making fun of the hat.
Well, he's under it, so be nice.
All right, so this is special motion to dismiss, which is denied.
Yes.
They can move for summary judgment upon completion discovery. Let judgment be entered. Very exciting. All right, Nick. This is a case for defamation as well as both intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress. Quest claims that Rekieta made false defamatory statements about him over the course of 6 videos between October 2022 and January 2023. He asserts in these videos Rekieta insulted him using coarse language and slurs, and that Rekieta called him the P word. Rekieta moves to dismiss on the basis of Colorado's anti-slap legislation, claiming that Colorado law is more substantially related to the Quest.
Kurt's facial expressions say a lot too.
Intending to chill Rekieta's speech. Both Quest and Rekieta have submitted flurries of evidence, almost all of which indicates they were engaged in a vulgar online shouting match. Both have called each other abhorrent names, made rude jokes at the other's expense. However, very little of the evidence on record relates to an actual claim of defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and negligent infliction.
Nick?
Even so, claims of P word are serious and treated by Minnesota courts as a matter of defamation per se, which is not atypical, by the way, because you are making a claim about someone's sexual virtue, which is a defamation per se kind of issue.
Is it?
So that's not unusual. Further, while there's currently a lack of evidence to support the claims of intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress, it's improper to grant summary judgment here because the window for discovery is yet to close. Therefore, the motion is premature.
Right.
Okay. So we're moving for summary judgment, and it's just early. While summary judgment is improper at this time, it may be reconsidered once they have the ability to develop the record. Okay. So is this a motion to dismiss or a motion for summary judgment?
It's a little bit of both.
This is a motion for billable hours.
Well, they say it's a motion to dismiss. And then so they move for both summary judgment and dismissal? All right.
Sorta. Because, okay, yeah.
Factual
it'll be explained.
Both parties have achieved relatively significant success as public figures on the internet. All right, Nick. I mean, you know.
No, all right, Monty. Monty did it.
The court thinks you're a public figure. Okay.
Fuck you.
I don't know necessarily that's necessarily a give me, by the way, but this court thinks it, but fine.
What?
Quest.
okay, that answers one of our questions. We did do a show. We were trying to figure out if they were public figures. We did not think that they rose to the bar of that. It sounds like Kurt was questioning this as well. The court has confirmed, at least here in this factual background writing, that they have risen to the level of public figures. So check that one off the list for Nick.
Quest received attention for creating, directing, and publishing videos online through his YouTube channel under the username Montagraph. He also goes by the online username of October Reigns. His content
some
ranges from
respect on the name.
potentially satirical and ridiculous to unsettling. So the court thinks that Montagraph is ridiculous at times. That's funny. Rekieta is an attorney who also produces content that discusses topical legal issues in the form of pre-recorded videos and video streams.
I don't think the judge is
describes
going
his
to like
content
seeing
as
a
commentary
lawyer.
that aims to be both informative and
The judge
comedic
will
in
never see
comparison
this.
to late night
Oh,
shock
right,
radio.
Rekieta, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's gonna
definitely
see
more
Nick's
so than
videos
me.
and think
That's for
that
sure.
he
Nick
represents
has
her
a much more wild appetite for such things. While creating this content, Rekieta drinks, employs coarse language, slurs, and makes off-color jokes. Quest admits that Rekieta's content focuses on hyperbole and commentary.
Comedy.
Yeah. In the amended complaint, Quest identifies 6 instances in which he alleges that Rekieta made defamatory statements. First, he alleges that Rekieta was a guest on a live stream in which he made various false statements of a sexual nature about him, which would potentially be defamation per se. Quest additionally claims that Rekieta...
I hate to pause it again, but I have always really liked the way that Kurt reads. Like, he didn't tell us a date he didn't need to. He didn't have to keep saying Quest name, so he's not going to. He skips over this shit. I've always, like, you might get a word wrong here or there, but he makes it enjoyable to be reading, where sometimes it's not usually.
Appeared in a video published in October in which he accused Quest of P-word, asserting that he enjoyed doing P-word relating things. In the same video, Rekieta say that Quest should probably be shot in the fucking head, and then calling him a P-word.
If you say it slow, the algorithm won't pick it up.
Right.
Yeah, that's okay. Quest further claims that Rekieta appeared in a video published in October in which the host presented an image of Quest with guns pointed at him. Okay. In another video published in October, Quest asserts that Rekieta accused him of making a snuff film involving a minor child in which Quest threatened the child both with abuse and violence. In a 5th video, Quest claims that Rekieta referred to him as R-word and challenged him to file a lawsuit stating that Quest's reputation was so poor there could be no damages. So defamation proof is the idea, which, you know, is an affirmative defense, I suppose. So the idea is that his reputation is so bad, he literally can't be defamed anymore, which, you know, is a possibility, to be sure. I don't know if it's true here or not, but it is legally at least arguable.
He thinks Randazzo will probably try it.
Finally, Quest claims that Rekieta further referred to him as an R-word.
Does Monty even have a criminal record?
Quest alleges that these statements made by Rekieta on
that would be his reputation.
Injured his reputation, character, so as to negatively impact his relationship with others in the community. Quest does not provide specific examples of this injury, although that's not required at this stage, of course, if it's defamation per se, because you don't have to allege damages. That's the nation what makes it defamation per se.
Nuh-uh.
The
Don't
brief
say
in
that to
support
Nick.
of special motion to dismiss admits that you're...
Wait a minute. Detractor Uncivil Unlocked? Is that what the comments say under this video? Because that's what mine said as soon as I said that.
Quest on these various occasions as various terms. He doesn't dispute that he claimed that Quest directed a snuff film that was named Little Piggy and the Umbrella Man, which he starred alongside a minor child.
It wasn't a snuff film.
Okay. I don't know anything about that. That is well outside my knowledge base, so I have no information to offer as to factual basis on that.
So he's just like a jury would
be. Page for this film, Montagraph is listed as director and actor playing an R-word. In October 28, 2022, Rekieta addressed Quest directly, stating that he has an image problem. Additionally, he referred to past statements regarding the potential P-word, saying that kid stuff was joke stuff, and a reasonable person could form the opinion that Quest is a P-word based on the movie Little Piggy and the Umbrella Man. I offer no opinion as to any of this. I haven't seen the movie. I don't know much about Montagraph.
You know it's a movie, though.
I have no opinion. And
you know it's not real. You know it's a movie.
Understand any of these things.
Right, that's nice. It's nice.
My knowledge base.
Yeah.
And I don't want to know.
Mhm.
That's
Well,
I have no
you
interest
should.
in learning that, to be quite honest. So I'll just just note that I don't know.
We played the movie on on this
Rekieta
channel.
brings the special motion to dismiss under Colorado law anti-slap legislation that aims to encourage and safeguard constitutional rights of persons to petition, speak freely, associate freely, and otherwise participate in government. Essentially, the law aims to discourage meritless lawsuits that would otherwise discourage individuals from participating in free speech and public life. Pertinent to this case, the law protects defendants who make any written or oral statement of writing made in a place open to the public or public forum in connection with an issue of public interest, which that last part is sort of legally operative, right? Because we're talking
Yes.
about stuff that would be subject to the elevated standard of defamation. So we're talking about what would be like public figure. So we seem to be talking about like public interest in that same vein. So if it's in that higher category of speech, other conduct or communication furtherance of the exercise of a constitutional right to petition or the constitutional right of free speech in connection with a public issue or an issue of public interest.
So it can't
Again,
be a joke.
this is legally
If it's a
operative
public
language.
issue,
Like public
it's got to be
interest,
one or the other.
public.
Which is what we found interesting to begin with, is that he's claiming on the one hand that these are jokes and he's a shock jock, and on the other hand that these things he was joking about rise to the level of public interest, meaning that they are true. It is of the public interest to know if there's a pedophile that needs a bullet in the head. That's
His accusation that he's doing a public service to protect people because he really believes Monty's a pedophile, that's him spreading that rumor worse.
Yeah, I don't understand that. And yeah, it's not going to work out anyways, but yeah.
Issue, public figure is all things that kind of go together in the same breath when you're talking about this sort of thing. So normally if you're thinking public figure, public interest, public issue, you're thinking to yourself, you need recklessness. And Colorado says in that situation, not even reckless will do. Apparently. Further, the statute, well, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's at least the domain of stuff they're talking about. Further, the statute provides the court must determine whether the plaintiff establishes there's a reasonable likelihood they will prevail. There is scant law addressing the motion analysis. One trial court provided a framework for addressing the motion and adopting California law due to the similarity between Colorado and California, which is okay in the first instance. Colorado is free to inform its law by parallel to other laws, right? That's what we call informative precedent, right? It's informative. Colorado can ignore it, or can look to it, or can adopt it as it pleases.
Madcore's asking,
Colorado adopted.
Madcore's asking, has anyone else called him the P word or only Rekieta?
Just Nick.
No, Rekieta was introduced to Montagraph when he was fighting a defamation suit because someone called him the P word. So Nick was introduced to Monty by him saying, I didn't do this thing, which is actually probably worse for Nick. Because he's denying this thing, and you're
in court. He knows it's not true.
Yeah.
Pleases.
So that would be
a
the
Colorado court apparently trying to figure out what the hell this language means. Looks to language.
No, if other people have and Nick can prove it, then it will be nothing. That is not true. You're not allowed to accuse somebody of a crime, especially
a heinous crime.
This sexual nature, like this one, especially. No, it doesn't matter if he doesn't get to say Jimmy said it first. Nick said it loudest. Nick said it to the audience. Nick is the one that's getting in trouble. Like then Monty can sue the other people he knows that say it. And
you're putting that person in danger, like real life danger. Like the Pizzagate guy went and showed up there because he thought he was going to defend them.
Yeah.
I think that's what Monty's saying about he had Nick's followers were like taking pictures of him and stuff. And Monty thought it was like, shit, one of them thinks I'm a pedophile and they're going to kill me. That's his fear for his life, part of his lawsuit.
Like Joe is in a lot. Do Better Man said, I would love Kurt to break down Good Logic's lawsuit that Joe is a defendant to. Did you know Joe was a defendant in a lawsuit right now?
I did not know Joe was a defendant in any lawsuit.
It says is and not was. So we'll have to look into that. Twitter's Cancer said, that isn't how per se defamation works at all. Rekieta said it. Case to answer. Almost certainly Rekieta will lose. Separate question is damages. Can Monty prove it has damaged him? Per se means the damage is in the accusation.
He doesn't.
The damages are implied with that one. So they're.
It's like saying
really
dead body's proof of murder. There's the dead body. That's how I know he was murdered.
He doesn't have to, per se, doesn't require damages. You really need to stop posting. What Madcore thinks is what a lot of people thinks, because he has his own life, so he doesn't have a lot of time. He just believes, yeah. And
well, no,
you wouldn't.
Exactly what Nick's been telling everyone, right? So it's not, you can't blame Madcore because he trusts what he says from Nick. And if Nick's
he's also giving his opinion that if other people have said it, then it's nothing.
Well, they're all guarding for Nick. Kurt's just.
But before Nick. Yeah, we'll see. They're going to get into the anti-slap in California.
People say someone calls me a pedophile on the internet all the time. True, but you have to sue that person. You have to spend money to shut them up. That's the difference. If you don't spend the money, you can't shut them up.
That's why Nick said, sue me, I don't care. And then he kept saying, he's just a broke guy on the internet. You're just a broke guy. Why didn't we could have done this forever? It's like, yeah, it was fun for you. No one was calling you a pedophile. Fuck out of here. You can't call me that.
In California, it's like, okay, language in California is similar. So I'm going to adopt this California decision and go from there, which, fair enough. That's a lot of how courts think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
How did Minnesota courts think, I wonder? We're going to learn today.
In the analysis, the trial court engages in a two-step process. First, the court decides where defendants made a threshold showing the challenge cause of action is one arising from protected activity. If that, then it determines whether the plaintiff has demonstrated probability of winning. And this is also, by the way, and it's worthy of note here, this is from some district decision in Colorado, which also is not binding authority even in Colorado. Because a trial court, unless Colorado says otherwise, and I doubt it does, trial courts do not provide binding authority because there's no one to bind. It's a trial court decision, right? So, and also trial courts are not even bound by themselves. So they can issue inconsistent decisions from case to case, right? Unless you have a decision from the Court of Appeals.
Oh, right? That's too bad.
Courts are not precedent.
If you missed it, go to my channel. Wait, we're on my channel. Before, not right now, but in like one more hour.
In another tab.
Another tab, yeah. We went over this one Court of Appeals decision in Minnesota regarding a police officer who was called Pat the Pedal over a one-on-one phone call, who won the largest defamation per se claim in the state of Minnesota. That the judge will reference it here. We referenced it before her, so she's clearly watching my channel.
And he didn't say
just kidding.
A broadcast of 400,000 followers and 10,000 people live multiple times.
And this is it.
Or not binding precedent. So they're informative even as to Colorado. So they're like this is tenuous, might be another way of thinking about it, right? So it's like, so the court in Minnesota is trying to determine what Colorado law, and Colorado law is thin. So that's not a great position for the Minnesota court to be in, because the Minnesota court, to the extent it's applying Colorado law, is forced to apply the law that Colorado would apply. Minnesota
Why
doesn't
would
have
Minnesota
any power
apply
to
an
determine
state law to arrest
Colorado has power to determine Colorado law. So Minnesota has to try to figure out what the Colorado courts would do.
She's going to tell them, she's going to tell Kurt soon why she's not going to apply Colorado law. And there were 5 factors to determine which laws to apply. And so, there are several reasons why you might apply another state's laws, but they're not going to apply here.
She would.
No reasons that she did anyway.
In the absence of anything, not a fun position for a court to be in. Because, like, let me put aside the Minnesota books and open the Colorado books, but there's nothing in the Colorado books. So, not a great time. And the only time the Colorado books seem to be open is, let's open the California books. So am I opening the California books? Is that what I'm doing now? I feel for the court a little bit in this position. All right, Rekieta admits even if this court were to apply the law, which is a whole nother thing altogether, because what Colorado law is and whether it should apply here is a separate issue, by the way. So even if we decide that it should apply, first of all, what the hell
Valley
is
Girl
it?
head shake going on.
Does it apply? that it would be equivalent to a motion for summary judgment, which, yeah, or a motion to dismiss, take your pick, either way.
Okay, so that, yeah.
Summary judgment is proper if there's no issues of material fact and the moving parties entitled to emotional judgment. In considering for a motion for summary judgment, a court cannot weigh on the evidence, make credibility determination, or attempt to determine the truth. Sounds about right. To defeat a motion for summary judgment, the opposing party must...
Hold on. Twitter's canceled. You got me to pause. It says misleading the lazy and gullible and happy to weaponize them as a mouth-breathing mob, or before at least. Now he's lost his clout and is under investigation by the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force. That is allegedly. I'm reading that in chat. I should bring this up. Don't fucking sue me, you lawyers. So Monty is the least of his problems. I have not heard about this Joint Terrorism Task Force. Wait, are we being distracted by this lawsuit, Nova? Do we need to be looking in different directions?
Who's being weaponized by the Joint Terrorism Task Force?
Investigated.
Who?
It sounds like Nick.
No.
Yeah. Oh, the proof will come. I have the forwarded email. Investigators' names, phone numbers, the works. Boy, you don't know. He could be saying more about others. I'm open to this.
Or Nick's a Fed.
No. Nick is... I don't know. I would need to see proof of that, but good to know.
Bank
Yeah,
Alaska's a Fed. Nick Flynn Fed.
that's true. I don't know. Maybe you're right.
must set forth showing that there's an issue for trial, and the court must view the evidence in the light most favorable to, and making all reasonable inferences from the non-moving party. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but hasn't Rekieta previously expressed doubt about anti-slap laws?
Oh no!
And their legal viability in the first instance? Because I
correct.
could be wrong.
No,
And maybe
you're
my
correct.
memory is failing me.
No.
But I was under the impression that Rekieta didn't believe in anti-slap laws.
He's been watching our
That he
shit.
thought that they were invalid.
Where is this video? I'm trying to pull it up.
Am I having a brain fart moment?
No, you're
Because
right.
I
They're
was
all
under the
unconstitutional in
impression that
every
Rekieta
instance, according to Nick.
Didn't believe in anti-slap
He does not.
and thought it was unconstitutional. So that doesn't. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah, no.
that seems
There's the
hypocritical.
cognitive dissonance hitting him.
That seems hypocritical.
It
to some
is.
degree.
Very.
If Rekieta believes that anti-slap is invalid, then he doesn't have to invoke anti-slap. There's nothing forcing him to invoke it. He doesn't have to invoke it. If he really truly believes that anti-slap is invalid,
Why would he be doing
why
this?
is he trying to invoke it?
Oh, good. That's a great question, Kurt. And that is definitely something a hater would say. Hold on, because
I'm against
I'm a
abortion,
hater,
so
so
let
I'm
him
about
go
to
get this abortion.
Yeah, my First Amendment right's my constitutional right. I'm going to use this non-constitutional thing to fight for it or some
You
shit.
don't have to file the lawsuit for up to
Some
a year,
point.
which is strange. It's called pocket
That's
service,
weird,
and it's
yeah.
really fucking dumb. It's all the way back to like 1860 or something.
You're talking about the weird laws in
Interrogatories
Minnesota.
and requests for admissions also, or is it
You
just
Discovery?
initial?
you you can. It's weird because you
I
respond.
don't exactly know
and
where
again,
he
to
says
start
it. I don't want to
making
miss it.
discovery requests and motions to compel.
It's
You
only
don't
4 minutes.
have to file.
1 minute left.
And that's what we've seen
I'm
with like
impatient.
these without a crystal ball laws, and Sweetie Joy or whatever, is that he's suing other people or whatever. But
I think we're almost there.
like no one can get access to the documents because they're just there. Like the suit's just there waiting. So I don't know. I kind of wonder if he, based on the
God,
complaint,
damn, I
like,
hate.
How come everybody on the panel looks confused?
because I think the way it's written, I mean,
Like, he knows you're a lawyer, right?
yeah.
It is funny,
We have an
Megan.
anti-slap law in Minnesota.
Here we go.
No, there's no anti-slap here. We found it unconstitutional,
You
which
did
I
what?
agree with. But
You do
That's
what?
right. The Minnesota. I've actually cited that in another case. That's right. The
Wait.
Minnesota Supreme Court.
What you think anti-slap legislation is unconstitutional?
yeah, I
I'm
hate
kind
it.
of inclined
Well,
to agree.
particularly the grounds that the
Hate
Minnesota
it?
law. A lot of these laws try to
They all
short
agree.
circuit summary judgment procedures and discovery procedures, and that was the most problematic aspect of a lot of anti-slap laws. They've modified that, but that's why the federal courts have mostly struck it down and
The
said
reason-
state not
Yeah. And the reason Minnesota doesn't like them is because it basically forces you to have a trial, but it curtailed discovery. and it curtails confrontation. And it's like, how are we having an entire trial without having a trial and without having all of the stuff that goes into it?
I was thinking of grift off this
I personally,
case
I
'cause he
think
was so
all of them are
excited.
unconstitutional.
All of
every
them.
single one in every single state.
one in every
I don't think
single
anti-SLAPP
state.
should exist. We have
Colorado's?
motions to dismiss
Shouldn't
for a reason,
exist.
and that should be a sufficient basis, in my opinion. I know people disagree, but speaking of other unconstitutional,
Okay.
In Colorado?
I did remember seeing that, so that was that. And he was sitting right there. That's why his memory is serving him correctly, this little autist that can't forget anything. He remembers Nick Rekieta being a hypocrite. This is everyone's face when they go, wait a minute. Didn't he say... And you start thinking, was I drunk? Is he drunk? He was probably drunk. And then after about 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 times of going, dude, he's not drunk. He's just being a hypocrite. He's just saying what he needs to say to get through today.
And that's why I said that's cognitive dissonance on his face, because now he's like, well, what else has Nick not been right about that I've trusted that he was right about in the past?
Madcore says, are you guys talking about the FBI stuff on Kiwi Farms about Kick Rekieta and Nick? I just wanted to read it. I knew you said it right. I just wanted to read it that way. We don't know what we're talking about yet. We're waiting for information on that.
I don't have the farms.
We don't farm. Yeah, we don't know how to get there. Yeah, and as much as people think we're smart enough to get to the farms, we dumb. We can't get
Did you
there.
hear us hitting the bong earlier?
Yeah, we don't know how to get there. I know, like somebody gave me the link and it's like, I'm like, the link's not working. They're like, you idiot, it's the dark web. I'm like, oh, well, fuck. I'm not even sure how to make dark mode. So
I got dark mode on Rumble. That's my dark web.
Yeah.
Didn't he like have the conviction of his own principles?
No, he's a lawyer.
I don't really believe in this.
Nope.
It's Rendaz's
why is he trying
idea.
He's trying to invoke it for his own benefit, by the way. That's what the problem is.
See, Kurt's
if
like
he were
annoyed
representing
at
a client,
immoral
I would totally get
against
it,
his own code.
right? Because he's representing someone else and wants to do the best he can for that client.
That's why
so I
Rendaza
would
did
totally get it if he was representing someone else.
Rendaza is
invoking
representing someone else.
for them.
Nick's not
because
invoking
then
it
he
for
would be like,
himself.
I don't agree
Okay,
with this
hold on.
law, but you know.
To be fair, Nick is no longer representing himself. This is Rendaza's play, and Nick wouldn't probably do it. And maybe that's why he's like, I'm going to need to pay 15 grand just because I wouldn't do this, and I need a dude who will. Because who else is going to look at this and think they could win? You called him a what? It said what? In full context. But what's the full context? Oh, yeah, no, the full context is I said, also, fuck you, I don't care about him, sue me. Oh, okay, this is bad.
But Nick should
What
have known
state?
he couldn't win before he started.
Nick didn't know because he honestly believed the bullshit from his first time until now. He believed what everyone told him because he's just as lazy as an audience, and he never looked. He told people up until like a month ago that was a him making a snuff film of a little boy. We showed that film on this channel, and it pans up. It pans up, and then you're like, wait a minute, how does this little boy have boobs? Why is this little boy actually a girl? What's going on here? Who told me a lie? And you start realizing all of it's a lie.
Database?
Why does she have a full ass name? Why is she a grown up? And you told me this was a kid. She's a prostitute. It's just bad. It's all just been bullshit. But he bought the bullshit. He thought you would buy the bullshit forever. As a matter of fact, not only do you think you'd buy the bullshit, he's certain you will, because you are paying for his lawsuit, $12,000 into it. Not you guys, I hope, but some poor suckers
at minimum.
He's based on what Rendaza said. And if you missed it, we did a Rendaza video. When did we do it? Saturday? Monday?
We did 2 or 3 of them.
But the one where Rendaza actually speaks, I put it on my YouTube, so I think probably people have seen it. But he's like, he actually says, if the anti-SLAPP doesn't work, this guy doesn't have a case. And he says that before he realizes the anti-SLAPP doesn't work. He said, we need to apply Colorado's laws.
Because they go to trial, so he gets to waste hours and hours of selecting the jury. Then he gets to waste hours.
It was bad.
It
says Alyssa put the Kiwi Nick link on her community page. We'll go. Let's get through with this. Hopefully,
my clients, and I have a duty to my client. But here, his only duties are to himself, and he can ignore it if he wants to. Right. So if he doesn't believe in it, why is he invoking it?
He believes in money.
Why is he invoking the protection of something he doesn't believe in?
He believes in winning this case.
Seems a little bit problematic.
Very.
Yeah. If the law allows it, though, why not use it? Because he doesn't believe in it. He didn't write it. His lawyer did.
The law allows abortion.
That's a fair point.
If you don't believe in abortion, don't have an abortion.
That's a fair point. Fair point. His lawyer represented. Okay, so
Oh,
question
Did
is,
you hear us?
did he go to his lawyer and say, "I don't want you to invoke this"?
No.
And his lawyer said,
No.
"No, I'm going to invoke it anyway."
He's actually said from an ice cold hot tub that he probably wouldn't have done that, and he doesn't know if he disagrees with the judge so much. But I mean, he paid $30,000 to get the judge to say "go fuck yourself," so it's hard
Right.
for him to admit this. Kurt, you can understand.
Which technically can be a thing the lawyer could do. So is Nick saying that my lawyer is doing this over my own protest?
No protest.
Because
Knock it off.
technically speaking, his lawyer could do that ethically. A lawyer's duty is
No,
to
I don't think a
further
lawyer
the
could do
ultimate
that.
goal of the client,
Protest.
but the lawyer's strategy is to the client. So technically speaking,
No, I don't.
Nick could go to his lawyer and be like, "I'd like to not be liable for defamation." And be like, "I understand that. My goal as your lawyer is for you to not be held liable for defamation. That is my goal."
Mm-hmm.
And then Nick could say, "I don't want you to invoke anti-slap," and his lawyer can be like, "Nah, I'm going to
No, the
invoke
lawyer
anti-slap."
can't do that.
Right? If you don't
Yeah, he
like
can, I
it, fire
think.
me.
Yeah,
No,
I
a
think-
lawyer
yeah.
has to
And he
do
can
what
do
you
No, I
that.
think
said.
I think the lawyer's entitled to his own legal strategy, and if the client doesn't want to use it, he could go
I don't
fuck
think
off.
so.
He
I think
can't.
that's why lawyers get fired. I think that's why.
Sure, he could have
No.
been fired, but it's fire me or go along with it.
Yeah, but I don't think you can do it against someone's knowledge.
Well, that
For
he's
an attorney to do. That's ethical. The
That's what
client
Kurt's
sets
saying.
the goal,
Kurt's saying that he
not the
thinks
means
Renaza
to
did
the
it
goal.
without Nick's knowledge.
So strictly speaking, technically speaking, Rekieta can say, "My goal is to not be sued for defamation." And lawyer said, "Great, you're the client, you set the goal. You want to not be sued for defamation. I agree." And then he can go to the lawyer and be like, "I'd like you to not invoke anti-slap," and the lawyer can be like, "Nah, fam, I'm all about the anti-slap light. Get bent."
Oh man, he's gangster as shit since he got to Texas. Nah, fam, I'm all about that anti-slap. Get bent.
No, he's doing his best Rendaza impersonation.
Yeah.
So my question is
pretty
that what
gangster.
happened? Did Nick go to his attorney and be like, "You know what? I
don't
just don't believe in anti-slap. It is not something I believe in.
No, I doubt
think
that
they're
happened.
unconstitutional.
Nick is
I
drowning.
don't
and was
really
grabbing
agree with
anything
anti-slap.
he
I know the
grabbed.
courts say that there's anti-slap, but I think the courts are full of shit. And it's not something we have to invoke, which is true. We don't have to invoke it. I don't invoke it because I don't believe it." And the lawyer went, does Nick have a moral problem with this?
A what?
And if not, why not? Why doesn't Nick
Moral.
have a moral problem with this? Why is Nick's
straight from
position
his
being,
morals.
"I really didn't want to invoke the anti-slap. I really wish my attorney had didn't do that. But he's, really, really good. He's really, really good. And I really, really wish he did. Oh, damn it. I really wish he didn't do that." Or is Nick okay with this? So, and we're back to a hypocrisy position. Incidentally, for what it's worth, why don't I ask Nick? Why don't I ask him directly? "Well, Michael, not that it's any of your business. And by the way, thank you back and your son for being here once again. But this is my first time reading it cold.
Yeah, you can tell.
So I guess I will ask Nick
Yeah, not that it's any of your
at
business.
some point. But I'm asking.
You can
the
see
question
Kurt's
'cause I'm
gears
reading it
going.
cold and
Why?
reacting to it as one does.
Why?
Also, go fuck yourself.
Oh,
I don't want you here.
wait, what? That
Oh, yeah.
fucking escalated quickly.
Well, because that's what I'm saying. Kurt's under a tremendous amount of stress right now because he's got so many why
I'm
questions going
sorry,
on. in
I
his
must have
mind.
missed the question. I'm gonna go back a little bit and see what
He
the
just
fuck
says,
that
"Why
is.
didn't you ask? Why don't you ask Nick about this case?"
Nick, why don't I, incidentally, for what it's worth, why don't I ask Nick? Why don't I ask him directly? "Well, Michael, not that it's any of your business. And by the way, thank you back and your son for being here once again.
Oh no,
But this
that
is my
was
first
it.
time reading it cold.
Why is he so
So
mad?
I
Go
guess
fuck
I will
yourself.
ask Nick at some point. But I'm asking
he's
the
scared
question
to
'cause
ask
I'm reading
Nick.
it cold and reacting to it as one does. Also, go fuck yourself.
Because he doesn't want to
We
upset
don't want you here.
He heard that as "why
Right.
don't you ask Nick" as a snarky thing instead of "why don't you ask Nick" as a question.
It's
Fuck.
like your bike's over at this other kid's house, and you have to go ask the other kid's
Yeah.
older brother for your bike back. You're like, "Nah, I don't want."
You
the
think
bike."
his position?
I
is
don't
the
even
law,
ride
as long as it's
bikes.
healthy, why not?
Exactly.
I'm not sure that it's fully tenable as an ethics position. Because what do you really believe in? Like,
Yeah,
what do you
exactly.
really believe in?
Stand
So,
for
you
something
don't
or
really
fall
believe
for
in
everything.
anti-slap, but as long as it's there to
Exactly.
help
Believes
you,
in the
take
bottle.
advantage of it. It's
We're
like,
with you, Kurt.
then Okay. That seems ethically questionable. I have questions. That seems.
See, I told you.
Nick hater.
Nick doesn't agree with the decision to try to use it, but acknowledges it would benefit him. Then I think if that's true, then I think Nick is being a bit of a hypocrite.
And that is true. He did say
If
it. I
Nick
just don't have the
really
clip
believes
because I don't give a fuck
the
that bad.
Colorado law is wrong, and isn't going to his attorney and be like, I don't want you to use the Colorado law because I believe it's wrong, then does he really
See,
then
remember,
he's willing to
Nick
put
was
his
this man of
then he's willing
morals
to
for
put his
Kurt,
sides for
and
his
now
inconvenience.
that it's broken.
Principles don't matter very much if you're willing to put them aside for your own convenience. Right? Principles are principles. You either believe in it as a principle or you don't.
That's true.
Very true.
And the reason Minnesota doesn't like them is because it basically forces you to have a trial, but it curtailed discovery, and it curtails confrontation. And it's like, how are we having an entire trial without having a trial and without having all of the stuff that goes into it? Yeah, I personally, I think all of them are unconstitutional. Every single one in every single state. I don't think anti-SLAPP should exist. We have motions to dismiss for a reason, and that should be a sufficient basis in my.
And you failed your motion to dismiss.
Mm-hmm. Just in case you wanted to hear him say it again.
Written and thought about how the bill changed humanity.
What have I done?
And changed.
I've made a terrible mistake. I can't remember what it's.
It was somewhere with the zoomed in, I think. Or was it?
Oh yeah.
He was still in the middle of it. He wasn't finished yet. He was calling him a hypocrite. Did he finish it?
He started at 27. We are 50. We're third. It's got to be like around. Damn it! I'm so sorry. Wasn't even paying attention.
Told and reacting to it as one does. Also, go
real
fuck
close.
yourself.
Oh,
We don't want you here.
We do want him here.
As long as.
Okay, sorry. That was.
Then he's willing to put his side. Then he's willing to put his sides for his own convenience.
So he's mad at Nick, not this guy. I think
principles.
1 second.
Don't matter very much if you're willing to put them aside for your own convenience. Right? Principles are principles. You either believe in it as a principle or you don't. It's like, yeah, it's a principle, but when it benefits me, though. Right? This is the problem of so much hypocrisy. This is the problem of so much problems on the left.
So he's let down by Nick.
This is the problem of a lot of progressive thinking. It's like, this is a problem because I see a lot of left-leaning people where, at least in my opinion, they don't apply principles when it's convenient to them. They don't really have principles, right? The principles only exist.
That's very true,
right? And I've seen this when it comes to feminism. I've seen this when it comes to trans rights issues. I've seen this when it comes to any number of issues, freedom of speech, any number of issues. Right?
It's
like I really believe in it. I really believe in it, except when it comes and applies to me. Then I don't believe in it anymore. You see this in California, for example. Yeah, we want more housing. We want more housing for the homeless, but not like that. It will decrease my.
I don't know what you just said because I was getting juice, but no, the most morally he actually said to me about me that I was defaming him. So clearly now all of a sudden he knows what defamation is. And then after that didn't work, he said that what was the next thing he said I was doing? Damn it, I forgot. So no, he was going to try to apply the law when it applied to him, and he was going to try to trick his audience into thinking a thing as well. He knew about this Argon Akilah Hughes case, and he was still going to be like, "Oh, well, this is." No, they're all the same. They're all lawyers. They're all the same. He's drunk tonight, so he's going off. That's all. Or whenever this was, July 13.
Who's he mad at?
You know,
you think he's mad at Nick?
We want more rights for this,
yeah,
but not
probably
like
his
that.
chat.
It will hurt me in this way. So, you know, hypocrisy is
with the G.
A real problem. And to the extent that he is taking advantage of something he doesn't believe in, it makes you at least question whether or not he really believes in it as a principle. Right? Do you really believe in this as a principle? Or I suppose maybe you've re-examined your principles. Maybe he's changed his principle. Which is also fine, by the way. That would be a way to resolve the tension. You know, now that it's come, but you see,
but it's convenient that it's in a court case at the same time he changed his mind.
He's not giving him a pass.
Now that I've seen the light, you know, I understand. But I'm as a philosophy guy, really attracted to Kant, right? I like Immanuel Kant.
Oh, I don't know
And
who
I
this
think
is.
Immanuel Kant kind of goes too far
He's a philosopher.
in the extreme, but I kind of agree with him. It's like Immanuel Kant says, among other things, that there is no ethical position except a position which you can maximize without contradiction. The only thing that's ethical is a position that you can take and apply it universally, categorically. Categorical is the only ethics. And so I think he takes this to an extreme, but he
You can do whatever you want
you know,
without breaking your morals.
I think he has a very strong point, and he might even be right in the extreme. But you know, in the other extremes, it gets very, very uncomfortable when you really push Kant to the absolute limit. Which Kant, by the way, is very clear that he wants to be pushed to the absolute limit. So it's not like straw manning him. Kant wants to be pushed to the limit. It's very clear he does. But when you push him to the absolute limit, it does become really uncomfortable. But like, this is not really compatible with Kantian philosophy, right? You can't really say, I don't believe in it, but I'm going to invoke it when it's convenient for me.
I should have skipped this.
Because now you're violating your principle.
Okay, we get it. Yeah, sorry.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I can't learn the songs in 20 minutes.
Is respectfully
Okay, here we
suggest
go. We
that
back.
Nick is in tension with Kantian ethics.
Yes, well done, sir. You should watch Uncivil Law's channel. He would have broke down all the things we can't do here. I highly recommend
you cannot do that joke anymore.
All right, let's see.
I
Both
can't
parties
help
acknowledge
myself.
that Minnesota previously
Stop
had an
being a
anti-SLAPP law that was found to be unconstitutional, which is presumably a position that Nick likes.
We get it.
The court in a prior case explained that Minnesota's anti-SLAPP statute cannot be applied in a manner consistent with the constitutional right to a jury trial because statutes requiring pretrial factual determinations require to step into the role of the jury. Now that Minnesota has found its own anti-SLAPP law unconstitutional, Rekieta appeals to Colorado law.
Yeah, all of our faces.
Yeah, that's that face, Kurt.
That's Nick is my friend, and I hope will continue to be my friend after this. I really do. But that's a little ethically questionable, my friend. If you really believe that these laws are unconstitutional, unless you believe Colorado's law is constitutional for some reason. So if you believe Colorado's version of this is constitutional,
Even Kurt's amused.
then, you know, okay. You'll have to explain to me why Colorado's version is
Yeah,
constitutional.
they're
Minnesota's
one
laws
piece of
isn't,
law.
I guess. But if you believe it's constitutional, then I let you off the hook. You'll have to explain to me why, though. But if you believe these are unconstitutional, that one law was found unconstitutional, now you appeal to a backup because it's convenient, though. I have some problems here. I have some problems. I might have to have Nick on and challenge him.
Yes.
Because
No, that was
I
our
don't
idea.
know what-
Son of
yeah,
a
this
bitch.
seems questionable.
Wait,
in a
hold on.
case where
Didn't
the
somebody
relevant-
in his chat just ask him that and he told that guy he didn't want him there and he could fuck
off?
himself?
Yeah.
He's like, that's actually a good idea. That was less than 10 minutes ago, homie.
Laws in dispute, the court must employ a choice of law analysis to decide which to apply. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
When deciding choice of law issues, the district court sitting in diversity generally applies the choice of rules of the forum state, which is true. Fair enough, yes. In Minnesota, the first step of resolving the conflict is to determine whether choosing the law of one state over another would be outcome determinative. In this case, because Colorado has an anti-SLAPP statute that provides immunity, choice of law is outcome determinative, which, and then they say Minnesota law applies. Yeah. I don't.
Who's texting him? Rekieta?
Yeah.
Oh, we
Nick,
were
stop.
friends, man.
Pull up, Kurt.
You're never getting a link again. You're out of LawTube. Okay, what am I still watching?
Oh, Nick, what is going on, Nick?
Told ya. He's reading the text messages, but I skipped through it.
Once a conflict is found, Minnesota courts evaluate 5 conflict choice influencing factors: the predictability of the result, maintenance of interstate and international order, simplification of judicial tasks, advancement of the foreign government's interests, and application of the better rule of law. These factors are not overwrought rules, but rather tools. While prior opinions may be helpful, the court's obligation is to be true to the method rather than seek superficial analogies. Fair. First, predictability of results embodies the idea that litigation on the same facts, regardless of where the litigation occurs, should be decided the same to avoid forum shopping. Also fair. However, this factor
what Nick's
applies
doing.
primarily to
No, they
consensual
think that
transactions where
Monty
the
did.
parties desire advance notice
Is the only
of which state law
thing
will
she
govern.
could find a problem with, I
While
think.
possible forum shopping occurred in this case, with Quest choosing Minnesota as a forum state due to its anti-slap,
No.
well, also Nick lives there.
See?
So it is a case, it's a court of general
Right.
jurisdiction. So could Quest sue Nick in his home state? Questionable. Questionable.
Well, the damages
when
occurred
it
in
comes to
Colorado,
personal
right?
jurisdiction, right? So Quest,
They occurred on
if
the
he
internet.
tried to sue him in his home
worldwide.
state, Nick would be claiming personal jurisdiction, one would think, and Nick would probably be right. So Quest, being somewhat smart about it, says, let me sue him in Minnesota because it solves the jurisdiction issue. There is no agreement or anticipation of further relationship. The parties did not voluntarily associate. Instead, they were thrust in this conduct through public discourse. The favor applies applying Minnesota law over Colorado. Second, maintenance of interstate order concerns.
Which, to be fair, is probably also bad because, and they're not going to argue it because it's not going to matter. It only mattered if they were applying Colorado law. But, shit, I looked down and I forgot what I was going to say. Oh well, we're going to keep
where
going.
application of one state's law
Don't
would
smoke
be
weed, guys.
manifestly disrespectful for another state's sovereign. Evidence of forum shopping or application of Minnesota law would promote forum shopping, which indicates disrespect. In this case, applying Minnesota law could certainly incentivize forum shopping, allowing plans from states with anti-SLAPP to file Minnesota.
But since Nick
Since Minnesota
is
found
from,
its anti-SLAPP unconstitutional, defendants do not have statutory rights to chill the exercise of speech. If plaintiffs were attempting to intimidate defendant through legal action, Minnesota would be preferable. In this case, the factor falls to Colorado. The third factor is often considered insignificant because courts can easily apply another state law as their own. Yeah, that I tend to agree with, right? It shouldn't be that hard, as long as the law is defined. If it's not defined, it becomes harder. But, it shouldn't be that big a deal for a Minnesota court to apply a Colorado case because, judges read decisions all the time.
Yeah.
It's not like, Colorado isn't that foreign. Although the case is insignificant, it applies to Minnesota because obviously a Minnesota court is going to be a little bit more familiar with Minnesota law. Fourth, advancement of a forum general government's interest involves analysis where choice of law would involve significant forum state. Factor ensures that Minnesota courts are not required to apply laws and rules inconsistent with the concept of fairness and equity. Applying Colorado here would contravene Minnesota's interest in fairness and equity. It isn't that Minnesota has never enacted anti-SLAPP. It did, but we decided it was unconstitutional. This isn't a case where another state's law can fill in a void because there is no void, right? This is something Minnesota's decided doesn't work for us.
That's right.
Minnesota courts have spoken clearly that the anti-SLAPP is unconstitutional. As such, where it would require a pre-factual determination, pretrial factual determination.
Which is what they're trying to
As
do
such,
here.
Minnesota's made a determination regarding state interest that anti-SLAPP laws are suspect. And so Colorado's law might be in violation of our constitution, and it's our constitution in our state.
Yep.
Finally, the fifth factor is irrelevant. Plus, also, although not mentioned here, this is the state in which Nick lives.
Bing, 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 bing.
So Nick is being judged by his own state's law. So how unfair can that be, right? Nick is being sued in the state in which he lives. So there's no problem with fundamental fairness. If anything, Quest is at a disadvantage.
Exactly.
Did you see him shake his neck?
So, unmentioned here,
He gets excited. He gets the Valley Girl.
He got a little culture in him.
Nick is not entitled to summary judgment. Regardless of other vulgar names, the accusations of P word are among the most valid claims because they're defamation per se. They can be, for sure. Statements are defamation per se if they falsely accuse another person of a crime, having a loathsome disease, or unchastity. All that stuff, yes.
Nick did.
Following the rule, courts have held that statements accusing a person of serious sexual misconduct are defamation per se. In determining defamation per se, the court must analyze whether a reasonable person, this is key here, so pay attention.
Yes, sir.
In determining defamation per se, the court must analyze whether a reasonable person in similar circumstances would understand the statement as making an accusation or imputing serious or similar misconduct. So this part is key because you can make a statement. This is incidentally like key both ways. So you can make a statement that appears to be a statement of fact, but not understood as a statement of fact, right? So if you just read the transcript, as it were, it would appear as a statement of fact, but based on other statements, based on other surrounding context, based on tone of voice, based on other things, it would not be understood as a statement of fact. So you can have something that superficially appears like a statement of fact, but would not be reasonably understood as a statement of fact. Another example, by the way, of this would be where the statement is so hyperbolic that no one could understand it as a statement of fact, right? It's so crazy, so
I'm going to go
absurd,
steal the moon.
no one could understand it as real, right? So that's another example. A statement that seems superficially like a statement of fact, but is so hyperbolic, so over the top, that no reasonable person would understand it. So that's one example. Another.
Did you want to just take a listen?
Montagraph is on this thing where he's like emailing everybody I know now. Montagraph has always been into sucking little boy cock, which is weird, but that's his thing. Look, I'm not here to stop him. I'm just saying he should probably be shot in the fucking head. Montagraph, you're a fucking faggot. Everybody knows you're a faggot. Clip this all you want and sue me if you want, you fucking faggot, child molesting fucking faggot. Do that. How about you try that? I don't care about him.
I have no idea why my YouTube's not monetized. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I thought I got all the fucks and fags out of there. And then he slips 2 more and I didn't even expect. This is just the one statement we feel like is the most damning. These are actually
Crusader
all
says, so I know it's all. Is Birch Gold run by Jews? Can you make that joke? No, we learned from Montagraph the other day that Birch Gold's founder is a former porn producer. Who is
yes. But remember, Nick really did help him during that whole fucking fiasco.
Oh,
so he trusts Nick with everything he had, and now he's starting to realize that, oh shit, my moral man of steel is not so moral.
Well, he's also reading this for the first time, so he didn't give himself the benefit of this might go bad for Nick. I think he might have bought the bullshit.
For example, of the overall context, it's clear, not intended as a statement of fact. And you can also have the exact reverse of that. You can have a statement that appears to be a statement of opinion, but is in fact a statement of fact because of overall context, right? So it's not enough to say, well, merely in my opinion, person X is Y, right? In overall context, that might be understood as a statement of fact. So this is really key. Would a reasonable person understand the statement as making an accusation of fact, namely imputing criminal serious misconduct? So,
yes. Normies will definitely think that was bad by Nick.
Yeah.
I
thought it was bad. No, I saw when I saw it live, I honestly, my thought was, wow, Nick actually knows something more than we know because he said the thing. He's telling Monty, I've seen the thing. Because to me, I'm like, he wouldn't have said that unless he knew for a fact. Like, that's too much of an accusation.
Right. As a lawyer, knowing what you like, as a retard on the internet, people say it all the time, but as someone who's a lawyer who knows the actual consequences and the legalities of what you're going to say, and he still says
I don't think we even joke about that. I don't think that's one of the ones we joke about. You know, like no one is behind the scenes. Because if you joke about that, then I'm like, that's just not a joke.
Gamer. You're not a gamer then.
To say you're a pedo, that's like their
all
joke.
You hear online all the time.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I don't hear
because it's just a sling in an arrow, right? They're
just trying to hear all that. I hear, but that like you're a pedo. Like I never heard it. I don't know.
Yeah, like Josh Moon did a video the other day. He said he's been called a pedo since he was like 14. That's why he's like not on Rekieta's side with this shit.
And because it's fucked up, because it feels bad. But
it hurt his like.
Oh, I lost sound. I lost sound again. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that sucks for him.
And Nick saying it was drunk, he could have took the stream down, but he was so cocky, he had to keep it up, and then he had to keep saying it over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Stance. A reasonable listener would believe that calling a person a P word imputes serious sexual misconduct or criminal activity. which, fair enough, right? There are some circumstances in which you would not understand it that way. But, the courts are thinking that, being labeled a P word is particularly dangerous to one's reputation, which, there's not much worse in this world than being accused of being a P word. I think, that's pretty reasonable. So it's a pretty charged word, as one would anticipate. So is there some situation in which a reasonable listener would not understand it to be a statement of fact, or would understand it to be so hyperbolic in context of the person or other context? I
think coming from a lawyer makes it worse.
There is some situations out there on the edge, but not so much in most situations, because most of the time it's understood as a statement of fact, or would be understood as a reasonable listener, the reasonably prudent, ordinary person, the man off the street, what
and
would
the
they
FBI
understand?
investigation, I want to see where this comes from Nick.
The reasonable person standard in this question is the context of fact, which, fair enough. Ask a jury.
I just got that email, so we can look into that. Maybe not tonight. It's pretty late for you. And we're 30 minutes into this, but it doesn't, it looks like I have an FBI name, but we'll keep going with this for a while.
Whether it was intended that way. How do you know? How do you know if a reasonable person would understand it? Ask a reasonable person. Ask 12 reasonable people. That's how we typically do this. Even though Rekieta
play this video to your parents, chat.
Do better, man. Said, I thought Nick saw or knew it for a fact too at first. Yeah, that was the only thought I had, because it was like, fuck, he's specific. Holy crap. Yeah. This is damning.
I think everybody clipped that night too, because it was like, wow, he said the thing that you're not supposed to say.
Yeah, he said the specific thing. And he said, sue me, which is when it's like, oh, I'm willing to take my evidence to court, because there's only
he was playing poker. It was a good bluff.
Defense to such defamation is truth. And so, yeah, he didn't think Monty had enough money. And that's fucked that you would do that to somebody.
Just because
you think they can't defend themselves. Mm-hmm. And now he's super pissed off that he's going to spend $300,000.
But Nick's a moral person.
Well, Kurt wonders that, though. Kurt's got questions.
Kurt's having major questions now.
Joke stuff. The strongest language of case law supports construing the actions of P word as defamation per se.
Stop it. Okay, Madcore.
It's like when you're a kid and you found out Hulk Hogan did steroids. This is what's happening to occur right now.
Madcore said, okay, so can Nick prove he is one? Then it's okay. This is all over the place. It is. Show me one example. Since it's all over the place, we'll let you get away with just the one example. Any one example that he's a child molesting pedophile. And yeah, if Nick can prove it, then truth is obviously.
Yeah. One arrest.
Defense.
One interrogation.
The name is at the bottom. The guy is, yeah, I see that. So maybe we can look into it once we're done here on the email. I'll forward it to you.
A reasonable viewer would understand. Yeah. So again, like, it's not merely enough for the disclaimer. This is kind of like what the court is talking about, right? It's not merely enough to say, this is my opinion. It's not merely enough to say it's a joke, right? Because you can imagine, like, we're not going to just let someone off the hook with a disclaimer, right? Oh, this is just a joke, just joke, but just a joke, right? Unless you would understand.
Jokes.
Right? It's not enough to say the words. It's a joke, because you could imagine someone not interpreting as a joke, or their statement, it's a joke, to be itself the joke. But the statement's really true. And which of those realities are you in?
And it can't be a public service at the same time that it's a joke.
All that stuff makes sense, right? So we, as a matter of policy, are loath to dismiss this out the gate. We, as a matter of policy, understand this word to be particularly loathsome. We, as a matter of policy, are loath to just simply set someone off the hook because they simply said joke stuff. So there is more here for a reasonable jury to potentially do.
Except for the video of Nick saying this is not a joke.
That makes sense.
That was a different statement, though.
It's coherent. Yeah. It might be 6 reasonable people in Minnesota for civil cases. That's fair, John Doe. Maybe it is 6 reasonable people, but either way, ask a unspecified group of reasonable people. Yeah. It might be 6 people. You might be right.
No, Madcore. Okay. Macker says that's what I'm saying. If Nick can prove he is one, that is can get him thrown out. Yeah. If he can prove he is one. I mean, if Nick is sitting on information about a pedophile, he should probably just give that to the police and let the prison, the inmates deal with him. Better hope he has no proof. He has no. He's told us what his proof is. Madcore, his proof is that questionable stuff. He's told us his defense already. He's in court. I mean, we're far into this. He's got none. The website he gave starts with saying that Monty is the person who wrote the Jean Bonnet ransom note. It's crazy, and thankfully none of that was entered for the truth of the matter. So it'll be a hard press to get any of it in after if they get to trial. But no, and he didn't say it was a joke.
That would have been Rendaz's first play.
He never said it was a joke. I literally just played you the video just so that you would know, so that people would maybe stop saying he said it's a joke. No, hold on, you can do this again.
Everyone keeps forgetting.
We're gonna start here. It's gonna give you the full.
Montagraph is a child diddler,
and he said it multiple times to multiple people.
Knowing everybody I know now, Montagraph has always been into sucking little boy cock, which is weird, but that's his thing. Look, I'm not here to stop him. I'm just saying he should probably be shot in the fucking head. Montagraph, you're a fucking faggot. Everybody knows you're a faggot. Clip this all you want and sue me if you want, you fucking faggot, child molesting fucking faggot. Do that. How about you try that? I don't care about him. Crusader says, so I know it's all.
It started with reading a super chat. It ended with reading the next super chat. You're not missing any context. He's not saying that it's a joke. He's super fucking pissed off because his YouTube channel got canceled. Here comes Monty gloating in the door, and he's mad.
Now think that your parent, think of your mom or dad or somebody, like just an average person is going to watch that.
Yeah, that's one of the statements in the lawsuit. That's one of them. I don't believe that some of the things he said, we could keep going. Let me go back to this tab. Some of the stuff that he said, I don't find to be defamation. I feel like it's not bad. Nova hears it differently. I think the jury's going to have to decide that themselves. I only find, I only find one of them. But then when you start talking about when he says child molester, I'm like, I don't know. I guess that too is the same thing.
I think when you put these all together, like independent from each other, they might not, but when you put them all together, like, yeah, it's starting to look bad.
This one
problem on that issue
this
because
he's telling me as an image problem.
Made.
This one he's saying
now maybe that's not fair to you.
He doesn't say anything bad. I don't think.
But that's the world's not here to be fair to you, friend.
He calls him a retard, which I guess is.
And when you go into,
anyways, that's that. His statement was not. He unfortunately didn't say joking, didn't say any of that in some of the things that he said explicitly and put them out there as truth.
Monty should have erased everything except for the pedophile one and just went on that because that's all he needs. The retard one's just wasting time and debate.
Yeah. But the lawyer that he chose has a son with Down syndrome, and so I think that they are that he was like, yeah.
I knew he donated to the Special Olympics.
No, that's the other lawyer. The other lawyer is like, it's pretty bad. I mean, I get it. I donate to the Special Olympics. That was weird. That's Randazzo though. The other lawyer, Schneider. Yeah. Schneider has a son that has
that's gonna hurt. Needs. He's gonna want to dig that knife in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like, we'll go ahead and put these on there as well, just in case.
What are the odds that he brings his son to court that day?
No. Come on. You think this is a Hollywood movie to you? No, it doesn't work that way.
It's Father Sunday. Bring your son to work.
Like, and by the way, that's my retard right there, and he's, no, that's not happening.
If the jury, there's got to be one. Someone in the courthouse is going to be special needs for sure, just for this case.
I doubt it.
A janitor, something.
Maybe the judge. Maybe the judge's husband. I don't know.
With malice?
She's
all right.
I don't know.
Let's go.
And that gets into whether or not he is a public figure or not, which the court has at least teed up the possibility that he's a public figure, but I'm not going to take a position right now as to whether or not either of these people are public figures.
Hey, that's how we feel.
I'm not going to take a position on that right now.
Because they're not.
You might also have to prove malice, which, means either Nick knows it to be a lie, which seems impossible.
Seems impossible.
Disregard the truth, which is difficult to prove. So I'm
not
sure whether
the LD true, otherwise it is a lie. If he has no proof it's true.
Open the possibility that it's required. So we'll move on.
We have this video where Nick says the way I was introduced to Monty by him having Monty suing
in Minnesota. Emotional harm resulting
another
from defamation
guy
requires there be some reputational damage.
in that lawsuit, he's denying that he's a pedophile. So what evidence he's going to have to prove that he was, because he knows that he's not. The man has told him. There's malice every time he says it if the guy's told you he's not.
True.
I think.
That's fine.
I might be getting that all fucked up.
Emotional courts have exercised historic caution recognizing emotional distress claims, and emotional damages are not compensatable absent harm to reputation. In short, there's what reasonable person would choose to live in Minnesota? We'll let that go by.
He's going to let that one slide.
The citizens of the great state of Minnesota believe that they are reasonable people, and for the purposes of the law, they are. So we'll let them sit there in their sovereign right to be citizens of the state of Minnesota. And, move on. In short, there's reputational damages prerequisite to emotional damages and actions for defamation. At this point, Quest has not shown reputational damages, which, he doesn't have to prove in the first instance because, again, defamation per se. Well, yeah. The only evidence of reputational damage is a video supposedly showing Rekieta DIVINITY following him. The video, however, does not show a person trailing Quest. It does not contain evidence the person had any connection to Rekieta. It doesn't even show Quest. Well, that's not very helpful, is it?
Mm-mm.
The lack of evidence of reputational harm at this point of litigation, however, may be cured through discovery, which is left to conclude. So the court's like, yeah, there's not any evidence right now, but I'm going to let this press on to discovery, which, fair.
Because Monty already run his per se case.
The motion for summary judgment is premature. Adequate time for discovery is essential. To show that the claims are not unjustly thrown out before they had a top ability to produce evidence.
Mm-hmm.
As a general rule, summary judgment is only proper after non-movement has adequate time for discovery. In the present case, they opposed summary judgment on the ground, claiming the motion is procedurally defective, and summary judgment could not be supported at this stage of litigation because the factual record is not adequately developed. This is correct. Although Quest does not yet provide substantial evidence of finding damage, there's a possibility that he might be able to. Fair enough. The court wants to let it go to discovery and see what he can turn up, and then be like, if there's no evidence here, the court can say there's no evidence here. But he's like, it's a word that is particularly charged, and so we'll give you a little bit more opportunity to find it. Makes sense. Although Quest does not provide evidence as of yet, there's a possibility he could before the window of discovery. The accusations of P-word were severe, even if made with comedic intent and tone.
Even
These are the type
if
of accusations that would
it was
inspire
a joke
anger, distrust,
from
and
the
negative
judge.
consequences. Further discovery is concluded summary judgment's improper. That makes sense. That makes sense at this stage. The court could have gone the other way, I think, to be fair. But, this decision's also unreasonable, or possible, also reasonable. What's interesting here, by the way, as a matter of, just talking about it.
A matter of law.
The court could have probably gone the other way and probably been within the bounds of discretion. And that might be something that makes people a little bit uncomfortable at times. But, there is a matter of judgment here. And courts of appeal are loath
Nick is
to
embarrassing
overturn trial courts.
The law
In
society.
the absence of
She's going to make an example of him.
Or, abuse of discretion. So if the court went the other way, the Court of Appeals probably would uphold that too, to be quite honest. So it's like, well, it's a judgment. It's literally a judgment call. And the judge thinks there's enough to go through, and that's probably correct. And if the judge went exactly the opposite way, that'd probably be correct too. It's the question, from an appellate posture, basically, is this so absurd that it can't stand? And the answer is probably no, either way. Probably within the bounds of judgment either way.
It's for a jury to decide.
Nick's position is that Colorado statute doesn't have the non-severable unconstitutional position that Minnesota anti-slap had law. Well, if that's true, Scott, then that resolves the tension. If that's true, that resolves the tension. If I understood Nick's criticism, and this is why
he said all of them
in my discussion to say, I don't know if I completely understood Nick's position. I was like, I'm not sure if I'm getting this right because I just understood it very vaguely. But if Nick's position is a more nuanced position, which I didn't understand, then I would obviously change my analysis. Changing facts changes analysis.
You hear that, folks?
This is good to do, right?
That's
Changing
true.
facts changes
analysis.
analysis.
This is good to do.
So,
It's hard to
Nick's
do.
position
A
isn't
lot of
just
people have a
barely-
problem doing that. They're like, "No, I said the thing. I'm just going to die on this hill." You're like, "Ugh."
Yeah,
that's
it's
retarded.
cognitive dissonance. It's saving face. They call it in Asian
Yeah.
cultures.
Let
saving
yourself
face.
get comfortable being wrong. Just look in the mirror and be wrong a lot. Realize you don't know everything. It's going to happen again. And learn to laugh at yourself because the world's
People
going to
like
laugh
you better if you
regardless.
can admit that you're wrong too.
It doesn't hurt to be wrong. It just means you don't know everything. And admitting you don't know everything shouldn't hurt at all. And if it does, you have a huge fucking ego problem. Because there's a lot of shit out there that you can't possibly know.
Exactly.
I oppose anti-slap, but a more nuanced position of Minnesota's is unconstitutional for this particular reason, and Colorado doesn't have that particular problem. Therefore, Colorado's position is therefore Colorado's version is constitutional. Even Minnesota's is not. That would be a logically coherent thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's his position, then fine. And obviously, there's no hypocrisy at that point, right? Because
But-
he isn't disagreeing with it he isn't taking two sides of the same issue. If his position is anti-slap is only unconstitutional if ... And Minnesota had that problem at that point, Scott, would be whether that was his position before he got involved in this lawsuit. How recent is that?
The day the lawsuit was filed.
How recent is that belief? Would be my only question.
See,
So
even
if
Kurt
Nick
smells
had
bullshit.
that belief before this ever came to be,
Do
then
Better
that
Man
would be
said,
one.
I think Nick knew it wasn't true, but in the moment, I thought Nick was speaking true about Monty. It wouldn't have jeopardized his channel in that moment after the Keffels drama.
Me too.
That's what I thought too. Sparky, at first I went with that, but there is a limit to what you can say. Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to accuse somebody of
A heinous crime.
felonies. Like, this is a felony about abusing children to an audience that knows there's like, I said this before. I hate to, if you've been here before, then this is like, okay, bitch, stop saying this. But like, there's a certain category of people that you could shoot in the head and pin on the wall, and you get to sleep like a baby at night. And Nick knows this for his particular audience, that what he's saying about Monty, we don't take as a joke. This person needs to be put on a specific list, wear a bracelet, be identified, so that when the purge happens, they're done with.
Which is why Monty is saying that he was in fear of his life from Nick's fans, because one in real life showed up and took his picture one day.
Yep. Twitter's
And if you're a paranoid person, then that could be scary as fuck.
Mm-hmm. Twitter's Spencer said Rekieta thought Monty would represent himself again, and if he sued and wrecked the pleadings again. Yep. And or that Monty was too poor to sue him. Seemingly, Rekieta was being a spoiled rich bully, and everything that's happening to him is karma. Rekieta, the Vic Lasagna case, and the scandal of Ty Beard's gross negligence. I don't know some of this stuff because I wasn't around for the...
Well, Nick was supposed to live stream all of the depositions and all that stuff, so we're waiting for those, because that was supposed to be his big local push.
Yeah, do you think he will?
Well, that was his push to get people to sign up for locals. I'll live stream the depositions on locals.
There's a video
where he's asking a bunch of other lawyers, have you guys ever live streamed depositions? I'll be the first one to do it on YouTube. Like,
I've seen it. Yeah, he said he wants to be a big pain in the ass, and he's definitely doing it. But Randazza said that he was going to do. They were what, $5,000 to $7,000 a day, and he wanted to do 10 days of that, so that was $70,000. I think Nick's probably going to have to. That's a lot of money. He might.
That's not counting if Schneider does them, because Randazza's going to have to watch Schneider's, and Schneider's going to have to watch Randazza's.
And because at the end of the day, do you think Nick's on the hook for Monty's fees?
And then the jury's going to have to watch them all again. So think of the hours.
Yeah. No, the jury's not going to have to watch the depositions.
Why? We watched all the depositions in the fucking Amber Heard trial.
No, we didn't. We watched what the lawyers wanted us to see, and what anyone couldn't come in to testify for.
Well,
but that's the only reason that they would do that.
Nice things. Do you think we're not going to watch every second of every hour?
No, he's not. You really think no.
He likes nice things.
No, he's not going to fucking subject the jury just for the shit. There has to be reason.
Have you heard that man talk before?
Schneider's not an idiot. He's going to just object
No.
relevance. Rounds.
Depends if
Listen, I went
Snyder's
to the
gonna go
school
after
of
his legal
Brooks
fees.
law school, and so I know a little something about this. There, he has no subject matter jurisdiction.
But if Snyder
Pretty
thinks
sure.
he's truly going to win, he's just racking up the lawyer fees to
No.
Why wouldn't he? Defamation per se case. Why wouldn't you rack up the hours? This is probably going to be the biggest case of his career. Funny enough.
Do Betterman said Ty Beard's loss was egg on Nick's face. Twitter is Cancer said Ty Beard screwed up a basic bitch affidavit. Day one shit. Madcore said, is Nick still being a douche in Rumble and Locals, or does he still think he can get away with this with shit?
I don't know anything about Locals.
Yeah, we do not subscribe.
He's still on Rumble.
We are haters for real.
But he's talking about quitting Rumble because he's not happy with the money he's making on Rumble and he wants to go to Twitch to make more money. So that was a sweetheart deal that fell apart real quick.
Yeah, that's not happening. Okay, let me hit play here. I got carried away.
If Nick had previously taken the position that these anti-slap laws are generally unconstitutional, and only as a result of this issue has taken the more nuanced position that we're going to separate the difference, I would question whether or not he truly has been converted or whether or not he's engaging in special pleas.
Do you appreciate this about Kurt, that he's willing to...
Am I gone?
Yeah.
Am I back?
I give Kurt bad props for this.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You still here, Kurt? You with us, boy? Don't let the chat scare you. The judge ain't back.
Am I back? Fuck.
Who's going to answer him? The voices in his head?
I'll wait till the buffering is over because I don't want to be mistaken.
Oh, that. Like what happened to me earlier.
He's taking it so serious that he doesn't want to be mistaken or have a part of one word cut off.
I don't know how much of it got buffered in or buffered out.
He's going to restart.
I think that's why he was so pissed off at me, because he takes such care for his words and shit. And then I'm just like, look at him. He's like, I didn't say that. I'm like, well, I didn't say it.
Okay, then in that case, I'll restate my position just because I don't want anything to have been lost in the buffering.
Yes,
so I'll
sir.
just state my position.
I remember what it is.
It would be, there's
a badge on the
different
front of his
versions
hat
of the
or
same
something.
statute that might be constitutional or not. Right?
Yeah. Totally. We totally get it.
Taking it because of this.
Yep,
But the other
totally.
I'm trying to engage in a lot of nuance too. So I'm like, so did he adopt it before or did he adopt it? Right? As I want to make clear again that I stated from the very beginning that I didn't really fully understand Nick's position. I just had understood him because I listened to Nick.
Don't hate me, Nick. Don't hate me, Nick.
Hopefully will continue to be my friend. I had understood him to be opposed to it, but I didn't understand exactly why.
Because they're unconstitutional in every state. You heard him. Someone in chat is changing your mind. Stop it. These are fucking
Is
gimps.
Kurt going to break the LawTube glass ceiling with this, or other lawyers going to talk about it?
What's going on here? And so all the rest of it. And so maybe Nick and I can talk about it. We'll have a stream together and we can.
Nick will not talk about it on the stream. I guarantee it, because Kurt will ask questions that Nick doesn't want to answer.
This entire discussion
I think
as a response.
Kurt will do it innocently. He won't mean to do a hard question.
Nick thinks he's so great at dancing. He's great at interviewing and lawyering and bullshitting and schmoozing these type of dudes. Yeah, I think he'd have fun doing it. And laughing later. Look at our fucking fool, dude. Closing arguments.
Kurt's like a special case.
But Kurt's not an idiot. I think he would probably be polite and nod and be like, what the fuck ever. His face would let us know he doesn't believe none of Nick's shit, but I don't think he would be able to get the gotcha.
Play poker. You should never play poker.
Nope.
But he is taking it. He's reading it fairly.
Lots of material to talk about if he wants. So,
and he hasn't read the appeals.
I also look forward to everyone flooding Nick with DMs just saying, Kurt is just raking you over the coals. Kurt is just Uncivil is just destroying you, Nick. Uncivil absolutely destroying you and raking
No. You're holding the balls. He feels it.
Kurt wants Nick on the show for the views.
And just destroying all nuance in all this discussion.
That's why he's doing it.
I look forward to the 3,000 DMs that Nick is probably getting right about now. That's great. Lord have mercy.
And conclusion.
All right. So, anyways, pressing on. Nick's special motion dismiss is denied. First is denied with regard to count 1 because Colorado doesn't apply in this present case, which, fair enough. It would make sense that Colorado could apply in the first instance, by the way. So, by the way, in case we want to discuss it just for more legal edification, by the way, about why Colorado
How many
law
times
could
can you say,
apply,
by the way, in 30
as long as
seconds?
we're doing legal education.
A lot. A lot.
That was 4, wasn't it?
Probably. But I just paused it again. I'm sorry, chat. But
Oh, by the way, it's okay.
this is why I love LawTube. It's like we don't know, right? We need you to pause and give us a fucking legal edification. Like this is exactly now. I don't know that Kurt always gets it right, but he convinces me. So this is what I love about it. I wish that they would all do this. Just read me some of the case, tell me something about it, explain why it matters, and then
Right. And then you take what you learned from Kurt and you put it up against something you'll see from Robert Gouveia or whatever his name is. And you go, wait a minute, this guy's making more sense than Kurt. So then you can learn from that. Or you can say, no, Kurt makes more sense than that guy. I'm sticking with Kurt's fucking opinion.
Madcore says, I think he would still say this even if they were on good terms. I agree. He has a hard time criticizing himself, talking about Kurt. No problem calling others out. True. Lucy said, why?
People say Kurt's smart, but I don't think he is.
Why you no have me on your show no mo? Sad panda. Legal Mindset said Kurt is the smartest and most LawTube doesn't know the law and that Kurt wings it 95% of the time. I mean, Nick. Fuck, I read that as Kurt.
Yes,
even when I looked at it twice. Nick wing. Yeah, I would.
I don't think
Should we show? Sorry, go ahead.
Kurt was that smart, he'd be rich. And he's not rich. So I don't think Kurt's that smart.
We have this other clip. Let me play Kurt, but we have this other clip of Nick when talking about what defamation used to look like to him. It is very interesting. I will show that to you guys in a second. I just got it.
Why not? The reason Colorado law might apply is because this is an intangible harm, right? And so we deal with the situs, as we say in law, the situs of the harm. And so the situs of an intangible harm,
Nick
such as
is in
defamation,
Minnesota.
is often
He
thought
is
to be
the situs.
the place in which the person who's being defamed is being hurt. So I'm assuming Quest lives in Colorado, because otherwise this doesn't make any sense. So Quest, I'm assuming, lives in Colorado. So Quest's argument for why Colorado law, apologize, because Quest wants it the other way around. Nick's reason for saying that Colorado law should apply is that Quest lives in Colorado. The situs of the injury is Colorado.
Yeah.
Therefore, Colorado
does he?
law should apply.
Monty does live in Colorado. He tried to say he's in Illinois, but he doesn't get mail in Illinois. There's a lot of reasons why he probably isn't in Illinois.
And Quest's argument for Minnesota is that is where the defamation came from. It's where Nick lives.
Right.
It is not unfair to him to apply the law to his state. And also, the state has said at least some version of this is unconstitutional. And apparently the Minnesota court here is not willing to make
If Nick was making T-shirts with pedophile faces on them and mailing them from Minnesota,
all
I
the
would
rest of it.
sue
So
them
that's
in
why their
Minnesota.
respective positions are the way they are. And the court here says Minnesota law on this conflict and choice of laws issue, which makes sense, but that's why they're taking the positions they are. So that was way too much legal education right now.
Maybe, but I appreciate it.
That's all that stuff. So that's why they're taking those positions. Oh, and then John Doe says he might have lived in Colorado, but suddenly changed his address to Illinois. Yeah, I vaguely remember that occurring on dispute about where does he live. Well, I suppose it would be, I suppose the correct place would be the time of the injury occurring. So where he lives now is kind of, where he lives now would be immaterial. The question would be where he lived at the time of the injury, because obviously the injury occurred at a time and a place where he lives somewhere. So whether he lives in Illinois now is probably not material either way. Right?
That's not
probably,
good for Nick.
It's probably not material whether he lives in Illinois, because the question would be the situs of the injury, and the injury occurred when Nick said it, if it did, and if he lived in Colorado at the time, then the situs of the injury would be Colorado, even though he lives in Illinois now. By way of comparison, it would be like having an automobile accident in Colorado. The situs of the injury is Colorado. You know, where he moved to.
Now it's too much, Kurt.
So
you did
that would
too
be
much
an
now.
analogy to make sense of it.
But it was online.
So,
So
yeah,
it
does
was
he live in Illinois now? Maybe.
Anywhere.
Does it change anything? Probably not. Because assuming arguendo, he lived in Colorado at the time, the situs of the injury is Colorado, not Illinois. So he'd be correct to invoke Colorado law, despite where he lives now. So, yeah. So all that.
That part.
That was a stretch, Kurt.
You want to do what to what?
Yeah. All those things.
All those things. See?
Let's see.
He's over it. He's like, this is retarded.
Where there's a choice of law issue in Minnesota, the court must first find a conflict, which, and then did 5 choice, fine. Most of the factors apply in Minnesota law. In Minnesota, accusations of P word are traditionally treated as defamation per se, fine, and tested by the reasonable person standard to understand whether a reasonable person would understand the accusations as truthful. Or more to the point, well, statements of fact, because statements of opinion can't be true or not. So accusations as truthful is probably not, I guess truthful is technically correct in best kind of correct, because if it's so absurd as to not be believable, then no one would understand them to be true.
Imagine
they purport to be
Kurt in court.
So I suppose understand them as true as correct.
Oh, yeah.
Because if the person listening to them understands them to be false in the first place, there's no
No.
injury.
Where's the video of him banging his head against the wall with his pockets out? Anybody? Because that's what I picture.
That wasn't even stress. That was just frustration because he was mad about some judge that made some dumb decision.
Same. It's frustration, stress.
Understand it to be so absurd as to not be true. It can't be understood as truthful, so there's no injury. So I suppose technically correct is the best kind of correct. Truthful is the correct word here. So fine.
Oh, breathe.
The standard is treated as a question of fact for a jury that cannot be decided on summary judgment. Therefore, they're not entitled to summary judgment. Near is Rekieta entitled to summary judgment on intentional infliction of emotional distress. They must show injury at the stage of litigation. This is premature and maybe later. Okay, all that stuff. So I understand this. This makes logical sense to me. This isn't necessarily to say, by the way, for the record, just so that I'm clear about this, that I necessarily agree with the court's decision.
Got it.
I am not taking a position right now as to whether or not I agree with it.
I'm not going to make Nick look bad
but
right
I am
now.
taking the position that it's legally viable. I'm also taking the position as hypothetical court of appeals that I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Because even if I were to disagree with the trial court, that doesn't necessarily mean I can do anything about it as a hypothetical court of appeals. Because the hypothetical court of appeals is going to view such things under standards such as, for example, abuse of discretion or clear error, neither of which appears to be manifest.
Kurt, smart man, would have looked that up like we did.
So or just
but this is his first time, right?
This on is the issue.
But he knows
apply.
Nick lives in Minnesota. Like the same Google search that I did, I wrote pedophile Minnesota case. That was it.
Don't give away our tactics, damn it. Now nobody's going to hire us. They're going to know our tricks. These are trade secrets. Shit.
So you think Kurt would
have he's not doing that, right? He's just
Isn't he like an appellate guy? Isn't that his specialty? Isn't that his...
Well, okay. No. First of all, no. But he's not doing that. He's just reading the case. Maybe if somebody asked him or if he was going to have a talk with Nick about it, he would do the research, especially since it's easy. But no.
I don't think the court is necessarily wrong there either on that analysis.
But when he first got sued by Nick
Court of Appeals, whether I would agree
you
with
think
this,
it was as your friend, you would have been like, hey, let me see if I can help you on this for a second. Or, hey, you're kind of fucked here.
Right. He's a damn YouTuber that we're busy folks. We sit all day, and to get prepared to sit all day, you wouldn't understand.
I'll give Kurt credit here. When he stopped trying to be like Nick and started acting like himself, I think he became way more likable.
Yes, 1,000%. I don't think there's any question about that.
Or not.
Because he used to try and be Nick.
I don't think there's anything I can do about it.
They all do.
It is a legally viable decision. Even
Did you see Aussie Overlord throw up and leave his puke in his mouth?
Oh yes. I think
Yeah.
we did that on Rumble.
He's
That
on
was
the
the first
phone.
time I saw it. That's
Yuck.
yeah, that's why he should be an avatar.
Yeah, no, you know, good advice.
Assuming the complete opposite decision would also be legally viable, which is a distinct
I
possibility.
think he's done here.
Because
I've never
courts get
seen this, so
discretion,
I'm not
and that
exactly
discretion
sure.
can sometimes go both ways.
Well, he's scratching. That usually means he's
So, yeah.
thinking.
So all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
And just for the sake of absolute clarity, by the way,
He's processing.
as
his friendship
always,
right
I would
now.
discourage you from contacting any of the parties in this to harass any of them.
Yeah, that's good
That
advice.
is not befitting of
Uncivil chat.
people.
Uncivilians.
These people.
Yeah, uncivilians, I meant.
There's no cause
Did
to
you get your
harass
uncivilian
anyone.
tattoo yet?
Yeah,
And
it's.
so
I covered my tramp stamp with
I
it.
don't know Steve Quest. I don't really know much about him.
Oh,
but-
wait, he's allowed to say his name. I fucking wrote his name in text over in a video, and he privacy struck me, and I had to take the whole damn thing down.
Are you serious?
Steve Quest. I know. Yeah, they're like, you love Steve. I'm like, the fuck I do. I don't like him any more than I like anyone. I'm just trying to read this for what it is and trying to make a unbiased thought about it. Whether he likes me or I like him, it's
We
kind
did
of
the exact same thing Kurt did right there.
We're hey derps.
Please don't target him for harassment, because there's no need for that.
These are jokes, Sparky. Don't besmirch me, or whatever.
So all that stuff.
See, it's not sitting well with Kurt right now.
Well, he also doesn't want to piss Nick off.
Right.
So he's probably
But I
trying to
think
figure out, did I say anything bad? Do I need to apologize?
Yes.
What is chat saying? What's the
So we'll see.
reaction? He's trying to take the temperature maybe of the room.
Because all he did was read it, and he feels dirty for reading it. Like, ew, no,
Yeah, he might.
this isn't good.
So
I
that was a
defend
lot.
you.
That was a lot
Now
more
I look
than I
like a
expected.
retard for defending
Did you hear him? He
like,
said that was a lot more than I expected.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. Well, there's UFOs, Kurt. Get
I'm
distracted.
not reading his Kiwi Farms page. That's okay. That's a wasteland of pain.
Oh,
No,
look at the
that's
hurt.
That's guaranteed
That's
to be
true
true
grief.
because Nick's so upset about it.
Hey, do you watch the behavior panel? I think Kurt is expressing true grief here. He must have seen Kiwi Farms lately. It is a cesspool. Don't go.
Or any day.
He can't get there. Don't you lie. You can't get to the dark web either.
What is the dark web? I don't even know what the dark web is.
Duncan says, even if I were advocating for myself, there's a difference between the world and laws as I think they should exist, and the world and laws which actually do exist.
That's true. If the law is there, use it. That's what he's trying to say, I think.
I think that's generally true. I'm not sure it's true.
But
in a
if it goes
specific
against your
case
morals, no.
where you're invoking the protection of the law you disagree with.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's true in that specific situation.
Kurt has a problem with the moral fucking bending.
It's
thing.
like people who call for more taxes but do everything possible to avoid paying their own taxes. It's like people who call for more housing for the homeless but do everything possible to prevent that homeless property from being developed because it hurts their personal interests. It's I'm not really sure that distinction exists when it comes to.
I think autistic people have trouble when
advocating
people
for
break
one
rules,
thing
and
for
morals are
everyone.
like
rules for thee and rules for me suck. Rules for thee, but not rules for me blows.
You're kind of nailing it.
Is basically what I'm trying to say.
You're basically
Rules for thee,
kind
but
of.
not rules for me blow. And so,
Oops.
if you're like the rule is,
Vicky has advice for you, Sparky. Bending over can be a bad position. You know what? Live your best life, Sparky. Vicky can't be judging Sparky in chat like this.
the rules
Do it
should
your way,
be
Sparky.
No slap.
Oh,
you
and
don't-
Do Better's middle schooler knows how to get on the dark web. She said, ask my middle schooler to get you on, sadly. Right? These kids are smart as shit.
Have to invoke it, which you don't. Right? You don't have to invoke it. It's like sovereign citizens.
Sierra
when
Clocks
they
each
go
have
to,
three
well, it's like
separate
sovereign
parents.
citizens when they go to appeal or something, right? or sovereign citizens when they say, I want the protection of the Constitution. The very thing
Bend
that
over
I
if you
disagree,
want,
I
Sparky.
have the right of due process because the Constitution protects me, even though I don't believe in the Constitution because I'm not bound by it. Right?
Yeah, but you might believe in the right of due process without it being a constitution that gives you the right. Yeah, well, it's a God-given right.
He thinks Nick's trying to avoid being
avoid trying to have your cake.
Did I do that? What's happening? If I just click all over the screen, it'll zoom however it wants. That was weird.
You can eat it too, and I don't really like that. It's bullshit. I don't like it when sovereign citizens do it. I don't, I think there's a difference between
Montagraph in the chat.
There's a reality.
Hey, Monty, what do you think, buddy?
We found a lawtuber that agrees with you. Well, he doesn't. Actually, he made no opinion, but he didn't do what everyone else does and say what Nick says.
And invoking the protection of that reality because it just happens to be.
I told Nick he should just give you the car and settle, but
how much do you really?
I don't see you driving a new car yet.
Yeah. Do you hear the sounds of a sweet, sweet GT500 pulling up?
Lady driven because it's Rekieta.
Yes.
That's right. How much do you really believe in it? It's like everyone else should do something, but I don't want to give it up. Yeah, who's going to be the first to drop? Who's going to be the first to drop it when, all that. So, yeah.
The soap? What is he talking about right now? I got mixed up.
He's having real mental problems with Nick right now.
He's trying to grasp why he would do this, and then.
Remember, Nick was his moral hero.
So I need lunch and I need a workout, in that order.
Lunch and then a workout. Is that how you would do it?
And I need to get food in my stomach so I don't pass out in the middle of my workout.
See, he's generally upset.
Tova says, I disagree with that. In my opinion, you choose anything that's lawful to full advantage, no matter your thought on it. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they're lawyers.
If I agree with that or not. I think I disagree with that.
He's a patent attorney.
Remember,
though,
he's
so
autistic. They
disagree
need
with
their fucking rules. They need their breakfast at 8:03.
Like, I don't know.
Leg day, not today, man. My legs are a little sore. So probably more
Carrying that big old head around, no wonder.
Probably work on chest press and curls. And
It'd be weird if he had this big ass brain and a tiny head.
This is Kurt being smart. He's also trying to lose weight, but he's lifting weights instead of fucking doing cardio.
Yeah. Good for him. It's going to work.
No, it's going to get heavier.
Overhead press.
No, it's going to
build
work.
muscle. He's going to lose a little bit of
don't
fat,
you
but he's
get
gonna build
ads?
muscle.
You need to turn off your ad blocker. There's this ad that says if you're over a certain age, don't do the cardio to burn belly fat. So I think he knows. He watches enough of the ads like me.
Well,
Become
he
a
needs to
poor.
get the ads that are on use that little ab electric shock machine and just put one on like his.
No. You think that would work?
Put one on every
It's
quarter.
just working out for him. His body thinks he's running around. He's just laying there.
That's what the commercial
No.
says. You're the one pimping it. It's on all your videos. That and
Is that
fucking
what they show?
spoons. You're working out and having super hearing.
Oh, I need to get better content. Oh, that's your fault.
That and Obama. You got Obama.
And Sparky said, Nick did go a bit too far. This whole thing is messy.
Very
he
messy.
done went too far. He has gone
Nick
too
could
far.
have just said sorry. I said it way back in the day. Just say
Yep.
sorry. And he
Mhm.
couldn't do it. And now I think Rendazza's fucking him harder than Monty is.
Rendaza is absolutely fucking him lube free, and it is sad.
Monty, if you're
I
still
don't-
in chat, do you know how much you're gonna get out of Nick? Like, we think you're gonna win, but like, are you asking for like 100,000, like $1 million?
No,
Like, in that
Nova seems to
ballpark?
think you're going to get $1 million, and I don't think it is over $500,000. I think we're looking at, if we can look at Pat the Pedo case, the Longben versus Schoenrock case, as a guide to what juries in Minnesota might
But Nick
consider.
defamed him way, way worse than that.
We do agree on that, but I think you're not going to get the same jury, right? So if that is an indicator, then I think we're looking at least $250,000 plus legal fees, right? So that's another how
I'm thinking
much?
$1 million.
And how much is Schneider? And you heard Rendaza say, if I'm charging you, maybe I'll give you a third. Maybe I'll charge you $100,000. But if I'm charging the other guy, he gets the whole
But if
fucking bill.
Monty
It's like,
wins, he gets
dude.
all of his lawyer fees paid on top of his settlement.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's another big chunk. That's why you're not going to ever get your gift, your custom art piece.
It's gonna be a fucking coaster from the courthouse that Nick's at.
Nick's trying to buy one of those Cricut machines so he can print stickers for y'all.
But Monty,
Cheesy as
tell us, like,
king.
what do you know what you're asking for? Are you asking for like big money, or do you want a Nick to like do a video where he gets on bended knee and says sorry and kisses your feet? Because
Great
that would be worth
question.
$100,000. You would
That's a
easily make
great
$100,000
fucking
back off of
question.
YouTube.
No, you wouldn't. YouTube doesn't pay great, but that is still. Would you accept a groveling? I fucked up on. Nick would do it though. No way. Take his. He's
gotta
already
get the
given him the
card.
chance to say
You gotta get
that.
the car. That'll get him in the heart.
Madcore says, "Do not click any links in the chat." It's almost like he could read my mind. I was like going for my mouse, like, "What's this?" Okay, my bad. I'm not gonna do it. Sorry, I'd like to see the alligator waiting for a victim during the flood, but my lawyer has advised me not to click your link.
That's
And
like
I'm not an
Randazzo
idiot.
waiting for Nick to come by so he can just chomp the fucking money out of his ass.
A Tour says, "I can't see his sorry as sincere at this point." No. I can't either.
Come on, Monty, we'll give you a link. You can come on and talk.
I
Or
think
have you
the
been
great
advised
advice
not
would be
to?
to not to talk.
Yeah.
Save it. Give us an exclusive interview from the Mustang.
Yes. Can you give us a period if you will come in and talk to us after the court case? Win or lose?
Give us a period.
Just give us a
Yeah,
period.
blink
Let us start
twice.
there.
Yeah, but I'm getting defamation also because I'm losing subs. So if you could somehow put my damages into your lawsuit, I'd really appreciate it. Because just talking about this is really screwing me over.
Defamation by proxy.
Yeah, I am suffering defamation by proxy, and it hurts.
I definitely changed the seats in the Mustang because you don't know what rackets is done inside there.
Oh yeah, I wanted to show this. I almost closed this video. Share this tab instead. This is old Nick. He's talking to someone about some comic thing, and he's suing someone for defamation. And he's going to explain what this someone did by posting about whoever I forget, Mark Wade. Nick Rekieta explains what Mark Wade's actions in Clade could qualify as defamation. So let's hear what old defamation from old Nick used to be. And you see if this is as bad. Let's just see if you think Nick would still consider this defamation. That's the question. And this is some kind of edit that I did. I don't know if it's going to get...
Explaining the interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law.
Look how nerdy. Now, was that a fighting man?
Ever
Is that someone who used to fight a lot?
Please give me a call. Today, guys, I have a special guest on the line. We have Zach from Diversity and Comics here to discuss kind of the recent issues he is embroiled with. Zach, are you with me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you just fine, buddy. So thank you so much again for coming on the show. And
That's how polite he is. Manners, kindness.
Hopefully we
no
can
idea where it's going to be.
I can give my audience sort of a view of what's been going on with you. Sure. So the reason I ask this is because what you said earlier and what I've seen on social media is you mentioned that Mark Wade went out on Twitter and said that you were encouraging fans to harass comic shop owners. And then I think he revised that statement and said something along the lines of maybe you weren't encouraging it, but you were kind of giving a wink and a nod to it type thing, implying that you are, behind the scenes encouraging it while saying in public that you're not. So, and you have said explicitly on your Twitter account, I mean, I saw the tweet where you said, do not contact these people. Don't call and harass them. Don't contact them at all, basically. So what that looks like to me from a legal perspective is defamation, right? He's made a materially false statement. It's provably false because you have said the exact opposite. And he would have to defend that claim in court, for example. He would have to prove that you did say this. You did encourage people to go contact these comic stores.
What do you think? Do you think new Nick would disagree with old Nick about that being defamation?
I don't think new Nick and old Nick would be in the same room together.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't be very good friends. That's basically it for this clip, I'm pretty sure.
To overcome the defense of
That.
That's a lie. Here's the actual
I
evidence.
mean, I don't know. I recorded
And-
for 4
and
more
so,
minutes, so you never know.
I see this defamation claim that has in theory caused you harm because you had a publisher lined up. The publisher seems to have acted, at least in part, based on his statements, which appear to be false. And then
Money might have had
that
movies in the
implicates Mark-Wade on a personal level. But then the real interesting question, because like you said, if Mark is one of these kind of insular guys who doesn't make a bunch of money, the question in a lawsuit is always, well, how am I going to collect? Right? If this guy's making $800 a month and it pays for his apartment and he's not really, he doesn't have this nice big cushy savings account, you can win a judgment all day. But at the, when you come home, you've just got a lot of lawyer bills and you don't have any payment coming. But the interesting thing with Mark is if people associate Mark-Wade with Marvel and as a representative of Marvel, because they know he's got a contract, because all of his books are published by Marvel, because he has ever spoken on behalf of Marvel, or even if in this conversation that he had with the publisher, and are you comfortable with talking about the publisher's name?
Okay, they're probably not going to say anything more interesting. He already has said what he thought was defamation, described it, and said he thought it was defamation.
Yes.
What I found interesting about that little part, and we're basically done with that, was
Nick didn't get drunk like he does now back in the day because he knew he used to think about everything he'd said before he'd say it.
Yeah. Well, he is also saying here, like, you have possibly the opportunity to go after someone bigger than them. And I think that's sort of what he's trying to say in his own personal lawsuit. He's like, Monty might not be whatever, but Schneider has money and Schneider shouldn't have done this. And Schneider lied about this. And Schneider, it's like, oh, what are you doing? You're looking. I mean, to me, it looks like what he's trying to suggest here, like he's tangentially related to this person, go after this person. Because you want the money.
Yes.
So I find that interesting. And who knows how illegal it is. This is old Nick, so it could be real.
And you can't trust a word Nick says about the law anymore.
That turns out to be a fact. But there's a new lawyer in town.
Kurt, sheriff. As I said, he needs a badge for his hat.
Moose called it defamation.
So do you think Nick's going to talk to Kurt about it or no?
I do. I think Nick is going to embrace the people who said it
publicly or privately?
Publicly.
On Nick's show or on Kurt's show?
On Nick's show. Nick is not an idiot. He's not going to give the grift away.
No, I think he's going to do it on Kurt's show, so has the least amount of viewers as possible.
No.
In the hopes that Alyssa doesn't find it.
Not happening. Did you say that clip this bitch recorded this the whole hour without actually clipping it?
I think her clip was 55 minutes or something.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's not a clip. That's just me being a hater.
That was the best she could do.
So you know that JP Morgan Chase is being sued by the government in the U.S. Virgin Islands for the Jeffrey Epstein shit?
Yeah, they'll just make that go away. They'll just pay that off. Oh, you want $1 trillion?
Unfortunately, who are they? It's the government versus the elite. So the bank is going, no, fuck you. Look at this document. You guys did this.
The government dies then. The government has plane crashes then.
Well, they already fired the lady who brought the suit, but the other lady who's a big problem is the ex-first lady. So who knows if she gets to die? They might, the husband might like her. But this is from today.
This will settle with a non-disclosure agreement, so it just disappears.
If they were going to do it, they should have already done it. Instead, they keep airing each other out.
No, because this is a way to get people out of the CEO positions and get the ones that you want in control in. So out with the old and in with the new.
At JP Morgan Chase is maybe so because in Hunter's laptop, which oh yeah, we are on Rumble. Let's see. How do I get back? Is this the one that gets us back? Are we on page 7 still? Oh my Lanta, look, is this the whole thing? Oh, share this instead. So we're still on page 7. This is where we left off. I can't remember where I was about to show
These
this
are
though.
highlights, just so you know, not Div's personals.
Yeah, this is all Hunter Biden's laptop.
People
Or
start
that's
screen
creepy.
sharing.
Yeah, and this is all Hunter Biden. We're on page 7, and
There's a weird amount of kids' tongues and adult tongues.
but we learned in this laptop somewhere. Is it at home? That JP Morgan Chase was creating those reports. So it's not this one. It must be on that other site. But they were making those suspicious activity reports.
That's why they're talking about UFOs right now.
Which is why they're probably letting them burn each other in that lawsuit. Because like you said, they're going to need a CEO to lose their job because they were also letting,
sacrificial
this stuff.
lamb.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't make sense.
Bud Light fired their fucking marketing executive VP from Harvard or whatever. Whoop-de-doo.
Oh, look. I think these are the ones I must have seen because I've seen this green one.
Well, if you want his credit card number to order stuff from Amazon, there it is.
It's on the back. Numbers. Have you guys looked through this creepy laptop yet? He had so much. He had sex with like good-looking chicks, and then all his internet searches. Oh man, if you guys have time,
his internet searches are the worst.
Yeah, his Safari internet searches were pure sex, except for one Chris Brown video, some searches on how to find coordinates, which my friends in Discord said that they looked up those coordinates and it took them to Antarctica. Dun dun dun. So maybe he was going to the middle of the hollow earth, and that's why they don't kill him because he knows.
Or that's where the hookers online say their address is, so stalkers can't find them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, where do you live? And they go, oh, here's my address. So, yeah, sure it is. There's way too many pictures of tongues. There's way too many pictures of crack. Divinity doesn't think if you take a video of you driving 170 miles an hour with a crack pipe in your lips, doing a selfie, it's not a crime.
I didn't say it's not a crime. I said you shouldn't be in trouble unless you get caught at the time you're doing it. You can't look at a picture of me doing it later and try to get me in trouble. Fuck off. Catch me or I'm not in trouble.
GPS, the date, the time, the speed, how fast you're going, your acceleration time. If he was driving a Tesla, because I think it was a Tesla, it probably has the video of him.
Nope. Still, you either catch me or I got away with it. I don't know. I guess this must be when he started with his foot fetish. I remember there being a lot more foot fetish stuff. Oh, these are all the numbers he called.
Well, it depends on when he's smoking crack or not, because he only gets into the crazy stuff when he's cracked out.
Redial. The crazy stuff is the foot stuff.
All right. Although the best photo in the entire photo is the picture of the lights. Do you remember that one? Boobies?
The smoke?
The ceiling boobies.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah, you're not wrong. I should have saved it. I don't even know. We didn't at WhatsApp attachments.
Oh yeah, there's different phones. There's an iPhone. There's a Android, I think.
So yeah, he's a sex addict. The other one has Ashley's laptop.
I don't think he's a sex addict. I think he's a crackhead. I think crackheads get
he's
all
both
on meth.
Oh, this is the one I already clicked on. This one. He's both. He's a crack. Oh, look, there's the big guy. Oh, and we've also decided that Jill is a diabolical one. He might shower with his kids, but she didn't love them.
Mom sent me into the shower. You're fucking them. I'm not. That's what she's thinking. And did we come to the agreement that this was a cloud account, not just Hunter's account?
It's got to be, right? Because of how many pictures of like kids are on here. Is this Haley? I think that's Haley.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So does that mean this is her too? She looks fucking tore back in this picture. She looks like a transvestite.
Because she's on the fucking meth with Hunter.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Is meth and cocaine the same though?
No.
Oh well, she's on cocaine.
Crack
That's the
and
one
cocaine
she said.
are the same. Crack and cocaine are the same. You just smoke crack.
Bro, you made it to the laptop.
See, look how wild her eyes. Look, they're fucking tweaking.
She didn't look like that here. She looked normal here.
Right. Well, at nighttime.
I can't tell.
They just got to the beach. They got to get a minute to get high. As soon as that sunset.
These are the
they
ones
set.
they showed us before. Do you remember these ones are the ones that they posted?
In the media, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Ugh,
aren't that
why?
bad. It's just him smoking a cigarette.
I wonder why they use these particular ones. And there's so many. What's
that tattoo
this?
is the creepiest part.
This says love or something. Is this all in knives?
Can you zoom in? Enhance.
Yeah, enhance.
Enhance.
Yeah. You're gonna have to see his butt crack real close. Okay, let's check into it.
I don't think is it knives?
Nutcracker?
I don't
I
think
have
it's
no idea.
knives. I think it's just fucking
This
random.
doesn't look like a knife. Like a.
It's people.
These are people?
I think so.
Well, that doesn't make no sense. There's his butt
That's
crack.
his
I know
fresh
you wanted me to
tattoo.
scroll.
He's taking a picture of his tattoo because that's the day he got it. Because you can tell because the new skin's peeling off.
Or he has plastic on it or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
that.
took a picture of everything.
If you wanted to know what Hunter was doing,
It was fucking boring. It was taking pictures of smoke. So boring. We went through this. We should go to the last page. Let me click last. This is it. This is the last page. We made it.
see, there's too many pictures of kids.
Yeah, I don't understand. Let me go to the one that said
Especially even if they're your relatives, you're a
Is it here?
sex fiend. So you're the only thing in your photos are pictures of hookers, your parents, kids, and drugs.
let's see the screenshots. Whoa.
A bunch of those are probably pocket screen. Yeah, so those are pocket screenshots. Or he's trying to catch that number.
Yeah, I just wanted to look at his backdrop, his background. The thing about this is that you literally have to click on everything to know if it's boring or not, or to know if it's interesting or not. And most of it is not interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, hell, it did this to me last time. So we end up just doing this. But we did go over the Kurt video. We've now recorded twice today. We've been at this for 2 hours. I think we might be able to call it a night. Anything else you can think about?
I threw one in chat, but we'll do that on another one. It's a good one.
Are you
It's about,
sure?
yeah. Well, we could probably watch it for a few minutes if you want, but it's about this guy who's like, he just accepts that he's ugly and he's never going to amount to nothing in his life. But he turns it around. It's a good story. I wouldn't throw it at you if it wasn't a good story. But he is one homely motherfucker. But this comes back to Kurt should watch
tired
this.
of feeling
To Kurt, I knew you were going to say that. Damn it. We're never going to make friends around this motherfucker.
Look at his subs.
This is a guy, okay. 248,000, never give up.
My microphone
This is 23
quite
minutes.
broken, and
this is him telling the world that
I've been drinking a lot of this. Right now, I'm sort of drunk.
He's like, yes,
and
I'm ugly.
feeling really down. Like,
Oh, that's sad. See you guys later. Getting ready for work. Well, a court case, since some people think I'm a lawyer in Australia. All right. Well, have a good night at work. Thanks for hanging out with us and having all your questions. I appreciate you.
Yes, have a good one.
You have the same questions that most people have that don't, that haven't taken the time to look at this. So I appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow night. Is tomorrow Friday? Let me look.
I think so.
No, dude. Today's only Wednesday. Shit.
Wow. Well,
Wow.
yeah. Officially, it's Thursday for me now.
Shabusiness.
Tomorrow is Friday.
Well, technically. The Shabusiness thing tomorrow. I'm going to record with Expert when he goes live to see if Taylor Shabusiness. Did you see that ended?
Yes, yeah, I was watching Joe's for a little bit there.
Yeah. So tomorrow we'll get to see if she's gonna get to use the insanity. See what type of prison she goes to, basically, right?
Yeah. Well, I might tune in for that then.
Yeah, that should be fun. Hopefully it's fun anyway.
We
And
gotta
then
see
yeah,
her snap. We gotta see her try and make a run for it.
because this is 23 minutes, it's literally gonna take us forever. So I don't
And it's pretty interesting to see, the later on outcomes too.
Oh, really? Okay. Cool. This has 1 million thumbs ups in how long? 5 years? Good for them. I mean, that's awesome. I love it when there's support.
And all this kid does is just tell you his life story. Like,
She
this
is-
is what happened to me today. It's like stream snipe.
Yeah, we're gonna sneak. Well, I mean, I'm gonna go watch Cool Frog, so now at least I'll know
throw
what's
everybody
going
over
on.
there.
Eloquently put it.
Oh, yeah. I wish we could.
Everyone
Actually, I
loves
can. Hold
dessert.
on. I think I can put this
And that's impeachment.
link. Oh, how do I get
Someone
to chat?
needs to be impeached. Like many of her
Paste.
colleagues, she seemed not to
Hell
care
yeah.
who was impeached,
Yeah.
so long as they could engage in.
So let's go over there and bullshit. Make it fun if you feel like doing some Trump-based politics. When Cool Frog gets fired up, it's fucking hilarious. He uses disturbed wrong. He uses the word actually way more than any human should use the word actually. But he somehow manages to be endearing while he does it. So I really appreciate him.
Perfect.
Yep. All right. So we're going to go over and talk politics. Noah's probably going to go to sleep because it's god awful in the morning for him. And we'll see you guys. I don't know if we're going to record on Friday yet. If we do, that would be dope. If not, we for sure will be back on Monday. Monday
Perfect.
morning, noon. Thanks for
All right.
hanging out with us.
Peace out.
See you later, chat.